Touchdown, Tigers. He wasn't down. He stands up and takes off. Dietrich Moore taking off for the end zone.
He wasn't down.
The Broken Arrow Tigers take the field for the start of the 2021 football season. 35-yard line and down at the 40. Oh, he wasn't down. He stands up and takes off. Dietrich Moore taking off for the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Minute after minute, hour after hour, I'ma get it, yeah, I got the power. Ready, here I come, ready, here I go. I'm moving faster than lightning.
Pass to the left side, caught in the slot, room to work across the 15-yard line. Outside of the 10, that's Ryan Fox. Inside the 5, he dives for the pylon, and he is in for the touchdown. Leaping forward is Spears Jennings. He makes the catch and tumbles into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. What a play from Spears Jennings. Throw it, looking over the middle. It is caught. Touchdown, Tigers. Time looking deep over the middle, and it is caught at the 45-yard line. Across the 30, Morion Horn into the Texas night.
Minute after minute, hour after hour, I'ma get it, yeah, I got the power. Ready, here I come, ready, here I go. I'm moving faster than lightning.
On the right side, it's intercepted. Over the left side. Coming up the near side now on the interception across the 30-yard line inside the 20. Trying to get inside the 10. He's going inside the 5. Touchdown, Tigers. Dietrich Moore on the pick 6. He returned to kickoff for a touchdown earlier.
I'm moving faster than lightning.
Good evening and welcome to Union High School and Tuttle Stadium here at 71st and Mingo. I'm Adam Hildebrandt alongside Steve Spavital. Madison Dildine is on the sidelines for us tonight, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from her in just a moment. But it is just about time for football as Broken Arrow at 1-0 on the year takes on Union, also at 1-0 on the young season. Both teams defeating Mansfield, Texas teams last week, Spav, and now you go from a game against an opponent that you're certainly not going to see from the rest of the year into a game in which you're playing a rival. It's not a district game, so there's still work to be done before we get to the district point of the season, but everybody wants to win this one.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, this is the second ball game of the year, and like I said, the season is put into 3 parts. The first 3 games, your district and playoffs. This is important for us to play some kids, find out who our best players are, because this is a similar type of a team than we are. Run basically the same type of fronts. Offenses are pretty much the same, but it's going to be different. It's going to be fun. They have a lot of speed, a lot more speed than what Mansfield did. So they're both of us, Union and BA, are playing better teams than we did last week.
Josh Blankenship, in his first year at the helm of Broken Arrow, is a former Union football player. He played quarterback here for his dad, and he'll be familiar with Kirk Frederick, even though he has not coached against him before. Let's go down to the sidelines now, and Madison Dildine, who's handling things for us this evening. Madison, it sounds like you had a chance to catch up with Griffin Stieber a little bit this week.
Yeah, guys, when I talked with Griffin earlier this week, he said that switch from tight end to quarterback has built his leadership tremendously and given him a confidence boost, and he was excited for tonight, guys.
We'll be looking forward to hearing more about that from Madison here in just a little bit, and then also hearing from her throughout the course of today's game as well. The big BA Tigers inflatable is blown up down and to our right as we sit in the brand new press box here at Union Tuttle Stadium. This side of the field, the stands, the press box, all of it is new. It's still it's freshly painted, but the same structure across from us. But Spav, they've done a nice job up here, and I like the perspective a little better than when we were here for the playoffs last year.
I tell you what, it's not even near finished either, because downstairs below on the field level is just going to be a massive weight room and things of that nature. It's just an unbelievable facility, and it's going to eventually be really nice. But this facility right here is second to none.
Spav, this is a series that in the last few years, Broken Arrow, for the most part, is controlled. 4-1 against Union in the last 3 seasons. It was Union that got the better of the Tigers the last time out in the playoff game here at Tuttle Stadium. But Broken Arrow's seen a lot of recent success against Union.
I know, and it's, you know, hopefully it continues. But what we're going to see is a completely different Union team than we've ever seen before. Coach Fred has even pinpointed the fact that this could eventually be the best team that he's ever coached, and he's coached some good football teams. The thing that they have more than anything is speed. They have so much speed. Their 2 tailbacks are just 2 young men that you really have to wrap up, and you got to control that because their line is huge. They average probably around 300 pounds, and, you know, they probably about 6'4", seems like, is about what they average. But it's going to be a unique situation, and we have a lot of things we got to do. We got to be really patient. We got to take some chances, but we got to be real careful with it. They are extremely good with the screen game, and that's going to control our rush. It's going to control our blitzes, and so we have to really be careful in how we do things. We don't need to do anything different. We just need to focus on ourselves.
You mentioned the screen game and how that can have some impact on this contest. You know, those guys up front last week were able to get some pressure without necessarily bringing extra guys.
Right.
But how important is it, knowing that your opponent is going to throw some different screens at you, to really be cerebral as a guy playing up front and have your head on a swivel, know what's going on around you?
Oh, you do, and it's a must. And you hit the nail with the hammer on that, because it is real crucial that our D-line makes plays without blitzing. They're going to have to collapse the pocket. They're going to have to control the quarterback. The quarterback can run the ball. I think he's a suspect thrower in the passing game. So what we need to do is make sure we control him and not allow him to run. He's a good runner in open space, so we are going to have to really be careful there.
We'll continue to break this down a little bit when we return in just a moment. You're tuned into Tiger Football on ArrowVision.
Finding your happy place is something special and different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Talk with our team. We'll give you the tools to build the financial future you want. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Back here at Union Tuttle Stadium, Adam Hildebrandt and Steve Spavital with you. Madison Dildine on the sidelines for us. The coin toss set to take place, and it is underway. They've actually already switched the 2 teams to various sides, but I guess they can still switch that around. The coin toss is up, and we'll see who won it. Not a lot of indication so far. Looks like Union has won the toss, and will defer. Tigers will receive, and the Tigers will receive from the north end zone. North-south running field here at Union, and right now the field is pretty much entirely in the shadow of the new home side and press box.
Yeah, it really is. It's just a unique stadium.
And here come the Tigers. Flags leading them onto the field. Black helmets, white jerseys with black numbers, gold pants for Broken Arrow tonight. Union is yet to leave its locker room.
I like this look that we have. I really like this look with the gold pants and the white jerseys.
It is a very classic look. It's a little bit throwback. It's not, with the newer font, it's not quite throwback, but it's not far off. So the Tigers are on the field. They're just waiting for their opponent now. Union's locker room is in the UMAC, down and to our right. And that was where our field access was for the playoff game last year, since we were in the offices up above. It's a pretty packed visiting side of the stadium here. The Pride of Broken Arrow made it out tonight, played a quick show a little bit pregame. Jungle's over there. A lot of Broken Arrow supporters in the visiting stands, and then the Renegade Regiment is actually in a socially distanced position over there on the visiting side as well, since their new facility is going to be built opposite the UMAC here at Tuttle Stadium.
It's kind of odd not seeing since they're changing their mascot name, that you don't see, you're seeing a completely different type of an entrance. And I don't think they've named their new mascot yet, but
they have not named it yet, and you're used to seeing some of the old traditions that are no more here at Union. Here come the Redskins out of the door, down and to our right. Charcoal gray uniform, both jerseys and pants, red numbers, shiny red helmets with a shiny silver stripe down the middle and a silver U on the side. Broken Arrow certainly with the more traditional look of the two tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty old school with the thick stripe on the pant. And
enter Sandman playing over the loudspeakers a la Virginia Tech as Union gets ready to take the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the evening. And we'll start with the Broken Arrow offense, since the Tigers will take the ball first. Here comes Union onto the field now. Broken Arrow up front, Broken Arrow up front, Jackson Mejia, Chance Marek, Evan Robinson, Nick Fuller, and Reed Adams, the starting linemen across the front five tonight for the Tigers. Griffin Stieber, of course, will be getting start number 2 at quarterback. Joshua Wilhite at tight end. The wide receivers in the starting lineup, R.J. Spears-Jennings, Ryan Fox, and Sterling Ramsey. And Nathaniel Jones getting the nod at running back. Of course, Michael Matthews and Marion Horn will also feature on the offense as well. Defensively for Union, Matthias Robertson, Demarion Thomas, and Jackson Jennings across the front line. The linebackers are Rhett Rogers, Gabe Ford, Bryce Ashlock, and Braylon Irvin Fisher. Jaden Rowe, the OU commit, at corner, along with Makai Belt, and then Devin Robinson and Jamori Ray are the starting safeties for Union tonight. And Spav, as we look ahead at that matchup just before kickoff, this was an offense that was very under control and seemed to hit all the right buttons at the right times last week, but this will be a little bit of a tougher challenge with Union's defense.
Well, their defense is so fast. They play fast, they're aggressive. They move and stem their front a little bit, so and they have a lot of size up front. So it's going to be a unique situation. I think some of the things that we're going to have to do offensively is put the formation into boundary, utilize it a lot. Probably tempo. We're going to have to tempo because they rely on what the offense looks like before they make a defensive call. So if we can tempo it, that may help a lot as well. So there's a lot of things that we can do to compensate for their speed and for their aggressiveness.
TJ Cowan will kick off for Union to start this game. Asbury, the church, set as the backdrop as the ball is teed up at the 40-yard line. Ball on the right hash, Union kicking right to left. Cowan steps forward, puts his right foot into it. It's a good kick that carries into the end zone. The Tigers will start 1st and 10 from their own 20 on the touchback. And we talked about that a lot last year for Broken Arrow, Spav.
Yeah.
If you got a guy that can kick it into the end zone, that's a big weapon.
Well, he better kick it in the end zone because he had no height on that dude. I'm telling you.
Remember last week, the Tigers returned a kick for a touchdown, and it wasn't even one of the most dangerous guys that did it.
I know, but our guys are so dangerous back there. All right, let's see what we're going to do here.
Here comes the Tiger offense, and Griffin Stieber, who was perfect last week. 9 for 9 throwing the football for 219 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Formation in the boundary.
2 receivers right. Now Fox motions from right to left. They hand it off straight up the middle to Jones. He runs into a brick wall at the line of scrimmage and has nowhere to work. They actually mark him back about a foot, so it'll bring up 2nd down and a long 10. And Spav, we mentioned this last week. The Tigers had 1 offensive snap in the first 3 quarters that went backwards. It was not something they did very often at all. And against a line with this kind of size, it's important to do that again. Tigers right back to the line, trips to the boundary. They throw it near side. Spears-Jennings makes the catch, but is immediately dropped by Jaden Rowe. Those are both Oklahoma Sooner commits right there, and Rowe wins the first battle.
Yeah, we're trying the tempo. We're doing some really good things, but we just got to be patient.
3rd down and long, the Tigers really did not experience this much last week. They did a really good job staying ahead of the chains.
Right.
Stieber has good size, more than 6 feet tall, but he's going to have to stand in the pocket and deliver a strike here on 3rd and long. Takes the snap, he's got time. Stepping up, now he wants to run it. Cuts it back up the middle. He's hit by about 3 different Union defenders, and he's brought down after a gain of about 6 out to the 23-yard line. It will bring up 4th down and 7 for Broken Arrow.
Okay, now we're going to have to regroup. We're going to need to regroup because, you know, they have a lot of speed and a lot of size, and we have to be able to compensate for that. And that is just focus on first downs, be patient, tempo when we need to, and play clean, and we'll be okay.
So the punt team comes out onto the field. And Stieber is back. Is this the punt team or is this the offense? It is the punt team. But it's a unique punt team. What is happening here? We got time called. There's an interesting combination of guys on the field right there. Stieber was in there. The Tigers may have just taken their first time out of the year. I don't know that they used one last week.
I know.
Mansfield Legacy had to use a bunch, and so Coach Blankenship really didn't need to take one out of his pocket very much.
Right, we just, you know, I wasn't sure what we were going to do. I mean, it looked like we had our offense out there, and then I wasn't quite sure.
It looked to a certain extent like a punt formation, like a spread punt formation minus a punter.
Yeah.
Stieber looked like he was maybe going to be one of the up guys, one of the blockers in the wall. And as a former tight end, that makes a certain amount of sense. It looks like the same group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 out there. Back to return for the Redskins is Jakiri Jenkins.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Stieber is back to punt it. Not a very deep punt formation. The snap is good. The punt is away. It's a good kick off the right foot of Stieber, sending Jenkins back, and he fair catches it just outside his own 30-yard line. That was an excellent punt.
Boy, that was a nice punt. It really was, and they were putting a lot of pressure on it.
He didn't, Stieber didn't, he kind of took his time. He certainly didn't rush it. It made me a little nervous there for a moment, but he was able to get it away with. The blocking was good. There wasn't as much pressure as it seemed like there should have been for the amount of time it took for the punt to get away. We're just 2 minutes into the game. Union has the ball for the first time on its own 31-yard line, moving right to left, a scoreless ball game.
We got to control their speed, the running backs. We got to stop the running backs.
A timeout called. No, a flag thrown, and Broken Arrow has jumped off sides. Remember, that's one thing that's different this week than last week. Last week in Texas, you could jump offside defensively and get back on before the snap and not draw a penalty. Now, if you enter the neutral zone here in the state of Oklahoma, that's a penalty.
And Union is notorious at, you know, the snap count issues, the freezing the counts.
Grayson Tempest took over about halfway through the year last year at quarterback for Union. He gets the start in this one. Here's a swing pass to the right side. It's dropped by Rovon Banks. They rule it an incomplete pass, so it'll be 2nd down and 5. Rovon Banks started the year at quarterback for Union last year, Spav. They've moved him to a running back position.
Right. You know, and there's a good situation there where they're utilizing the screen game already. You know, thinking we're going to put a lot of pressure on them. They're going to try to slow that down.
Jaden Rowe into the game on offense for Union. He's lined up as a tailback right now as Tempest will go under center this time. 2 tight ends right, including the sizable Damon Sanders at 6'2", 212. And now Union takes a timeout. Spav, this has been a little bit of a herky-jerky start for both teams.
It's a battle. You know, you got some battles. The unique thing about what they do offensively is they have 2 tight ends. You know, it's kind of similar to what we do in a way. One's more of a run situated type tight end, the other one's more pass. But the things that they can do with it is they can take the tight end, flex them out as a wide receiver, inside receiver. They can get them off the line of scrimmage as a fullback and move them, you know, laterally side to side. And it makes them really unique what they can do with them. They have 2 athletic tight ends, and you have to be aware of that. You have to be able to line up with your personnel group with that when they spread it out and all that stuff.
You got it. tucked in pretty tight right now. A bunch set on the right side that includes 2 tight ends. Now they'll shift it to the left side. Essentially, it's quad left with a wide receiver left as well. Here's the snap. They toss it to the left side. It's bobbled, but somehow caught by Rowe. Now he's got room to work. Hit from behind by Marion Horn and brought down for a gain of about 10 out to the 46-yard line. Spav, it didn't look like there was anything to that play, and Jaden Rowe ends up gaining 11 yards on it.
Well, I tell you what, we actually adjusted pretty well, but boy, they had a student body and they just sealed that thing really.
Trips left into the boundary, 2 receivers right, an empty set for Grayson Tempest. He takes the snap, looking left, throws the screen left side. It's caught at the 45-yard line. A broken tackle. Now across the Broken Arrow 40 and drugged down from behind is Mackay Belt. Briley Ferguson, able to bring him down, but it's another big game for Union, and they're down to the Broken Arrow 36-yard line here, 1st and 10.
And see, that's one of their tight ends. That's one of their tight ends is moving around. They can move them around. They're changing formations. Be patient now.
Lane Wood in at tight end. Damon Sanders is in there as well. 2 receivers split right, including Jakiri Jenkins. They're going to put a lot of guys at wide receiver tonight. Grayson Tempest takes the snap, fakes the handoff. No, he did hand it off at the middle. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage and brought down maybe a yard down to the 35-yard line. Rovon Banks, the ball carrier on that one. A minimum gain brings up 2nd down and 9. That's the best first down result for the Tigers so far.
That was good because that formation really put a lot of pressure on your defense, but having 2 tight ends on one side and then having wide receivers to the field.
Does that affect the guys, the front 4 or the linebackers more, Spav?
You know, more linebackers in secondary because they'll take that tight end and move them, across the formation.
Motion left to right by Gino Boyd in at wide receiver. Here's the snap, a handoff to the left side, room to work for Rovon Banks. There's a big old hold at the point of attack, no flag. He's eventually pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That was a massive hold on the near side. Jacob Jennings could not get free.
Well, he just bounced that thing out.
He did.
It's just free as free could be.
1st down and 10 now from Union from the Broken Arrow 20-yard line. Ball on the left hash moving right to left. Union trying to go on top early. 8:34 to play in the first. It's a scoreless ball game so far. Bunch set, 2 receivers to either side. They give it on the shovel pass, but it's dropped, bouncing around in the backfield. Now it's scooped up by Union, but Devin Robinson is brought down for a loss of 6 yards back to the 26-yard line. Jadaean Floyd right on the stop.
Yeah, we had that thing covered to begin with. That was nice what we did, because what they did is they put flex the tight end to the field, and then they motion the wide receiver that way so you can have a tight end blocking for that sweep.
Broken Arrow has had some jitters early on, but so has Union. They've bobbled a few of those pitches already on this drive. 2nd down and 16. Big opportunity for the Tigers here. Here's the snap, handoff straight up the middle. That's Rovon Banks cutting it back at the middle. He lost the football on the near side, but it's scooped up by Union over the near side to the 10-yard line. 1st down yardage inside the 5. Touchdown Union. Damon Sanders eventually rolled the ball into the end zone. The ball was knocked free, but it bounced right into the hands of the Union senior tight end, Damon Sanders, and he took it the rest of the way. Unfortunate bounce.
Yeah, it was just a freak of nature on that was. I'm telling you.
6-0 Union. And now TJ Cowan is on for the extra point attempt. On to hold is Rhett Rogers. Lane Wood is the snapper.
Well, they got us on our toes right now. We're going to have to really recoup here offensively now.
PAT is on the way. A little bit of a line drive, but it is through. 7-0 Union, 7:46 to play here in the first quarter. We will take a break. Back with more in just a moment. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football on ArrowVision.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Welcome back to Union High School. The lights flashing on and off as part of the celebration for Union, but it's 7-0 Union as we work our way through the first quarter, 7:46 to play. The scoreboard to our right is actually broken. All we see is the clock, and there's nothing to our left because that's where they're building the new building. Well, let's go down to the sidelines in Madison Dildine. Madison, it's air-conditioned up here. Me and Spav are quite comfortable. What's it like for you down there?
Yeah, guys, it is humid down here, but luckily there is a slight breeze, but it's hot and humid.
Madison down in front of the band in the student section right now, and it seems like that touchdown hasn't taken any wind out of the sails of the Tiger faithful so far. Cowan has the ball teed up for Union again at the 40-yard line. Kicked the last one into the end zone. He slips this time. It's a short kick. It skips and now goes under the legs of R.J. Spears-Jennings. He picks it up all the way back at the 5-yard line and is in instant trouble. Cuts it up at the 10, runs over a man and gets it out near the 15. They actually mark him back at the 14-yard line.
You know, that was really a good return for what happened.
Yeah.
You know, he's a tough runner. He really does a great job.
7-0 Union. Griffin Stieber 1 for 1. He still hasn't missed on a pass attempt this year, but his only one in this game went backwards 2 yards. We'll see what the Tigers can do. The only positive gain for Broken Arrow the last time out was that Griffin Stieber scramble up the middle.
Well, field position is really playing a toll right now.
Yeah, if you can at least get a couple of first downs here and try to flip the field, that would sure be good. Marion Horn in at tailback in the shotgun for Griffin Stieber to his right. 2 tight ends in the game. They hand it off to Horn straight up the middle. He's hit immediately in the backfield. A bit of a jailbreak there. He's wrapped up for a loss of 2 yards. Back just inside the 14-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Horn really had no chance there, Spav.
No, we didn't even block the 3 technique, so.
Horn comes out of the game. 2 receivers right now. That's Sterling Ramsey in the slot and R.J. Spears-Jennings on the numbers. That's the short side of the field. Now the tight end shift from left to right. 4 skill guys on the right side of the field. Quick pass to the right side. Spears-Jennings makes the catch. He's across the 15-yard line and ushered out of bounds at the 16. Give him 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. So another 3rd and long, a little bit better than last time, but still 3rd and long here for the Tigers.
Well, we're going to have to try to hit some things a little deeper, you know. We're going to have to get some double moves or do something. Get the backs involved in the passing game, because they're loading the box so heavy here, and it's very difficult for us to do anything.
2 receivers left on the wide side of the field. Max protection here. Stieber steps up, and he's hit from behind, brought down for a sack. It's a loss of 3. There is a flag down on the far sideline. Potentially in the area of a defensive hold, but it also could have been a push off from the receiver. We'll have to see. No, it's an illegal formation is the initial call. 5 men in the backfield for the Tigers.
Okay.
Not what you're looking for there for Broken Arrow.
No.
It brings up 4th down and about 11 yards, and the punt team will have to come back on the field.
Well, and here's the deal. If we don't get a good punt, they're going to have the ball inside the 50, and it just field position is really playing a toll right now. We've got to really flip the field.
You know, this is the officiating crew of Randy Jeffers, who's been a long-time high school football official here in the state of Oklahoma. He's actually charting some things in the booth. He had an unfortunate leg injury before the start of last year's season that has kept him off the field, but he's approaching 20 years of service. Snap back. Kick is on the way. It's short. This one will bounce and roll, and it gets by the returner this time. It was Jenkins back there again. It'll roll inside the 40, and for some reason it was down by the Tigers while it was still rolling, but not a bad kick. Again, Steve were able to get a decent kickoff, but
I can't believe he didn't field the punt. But I'm glad, because I didn't want him to get inside the 50. So
gets back to the 39-yard line of Union.
We got to, you know, they're cramming the box so heavy on defense. We're going to have to spread it out. We're going to have to do some things that are going to, we got to attack vertical somehow.
And pardon me, a moment ago I said Jeffers was approaching 20 years. He's approaching 50 years of service as a high school football official here in Oklahoma. First and 10 for Union. Moving right to left, Union leads 7-0 over Broken Arrow. Here's motion to the left side of the formation. They hand it off in the backfield, hit in the backfield, and now driven backwards. Mitchell Banning there to lead the way, and then he got some help as well. I think Jadaean Floyd Wright might have been the guy that followed up. It's a loss of about 3 yards back to the 36-yard line. Excellent start to the drive for the Broken Arrow defense.
Nice, very nice. They're really utilizing a lot of different formations, a lot of different motions with it. They're really keeping us on our toes right now.
2 tight ends left in this formation. Check that, 3 tight ends. It's a bunch formation to the left side. They snap it, fake the handoff. Rolling to his right this time is Tempest. He dumps it back over the middle. It's caught, and he's hit hard. Damon Sanders undercut and brought down for a gain of about 5. There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage, again from the far side.
Boy, they had
another illegal formation, this time against Union, and that'll move Union back 5 yards.
Well, that bunch formation they had, they sent the inside guy deep, and he was just wide open. So obviously that wasn't in their thinking of their play selection.
Second down and about 19 now for Union. 17, excuse me. Trips right on the wide side of the field with the ball near the left hash. The ball's on the Union 31. Here's the snap. Tempest wants to throw a screen set up, and he's got a lot of room over the right side. Across the 30, that's Rovon Banks, undercut at the 40. It'll bring about 3rd down and 8, which is about where Damon Sanders caught that last pass. So it's a net 0 after the penalty, but there was a lot of room there, Spav, on that screen.
Well, no, and that's what they're going to do. You know, second and forever, and they're going to screen you to death. They're very good with the tailback screens, very good.
Trips left on the wide side of the field with the ball on the right hash. It's 3rd and 8 for Union. The Tigers with a chance to get a stop and get the ball back here with 4:45 remaining in the first quarter, and Union leading 7-0. Here's the snap. Tempest wants to throw, zips it to the near side in the slot. It's caught at the 45. First down yardage at midfield, and just about, no, they mark him right at the 50-yard line. They got the first down by a yard. I think that was Sanders that caught it.
We got to be aware, too, when they get onto that nub side where it's just a tight end only, because the back, well, he went out just like he wheeled outside of that play, and that's very tough to defend.
Timeout taken here, I think, by the Broken Arrow sideline. 4:27 to go in the first quarter. Grayson Tempest so far, Spav, is 4 for 5 for 32 yards. They haven't had him throw the ball down the field very much, but he has been getting the ball where it needs to go.
That's exactly right, and that's kind of what we want him to do. We want to bottle him up. We don't want him to run with the football because he's a threat running the ball. But we want him to sit back and throw the ball and let us play coverage. But that's why we were talking about earlier, why our D-line has to make plays without blitzing. We have to make plays without blitzing.
A bit of an unusual number in the stat book. So far, Damon Sanders has 0 rushes for 14 yards and a touchdown because he was the guy that scooped up that fumble and took it to the house. First down and 10 for Union from right at midfield. Ball just underneath the U logo. One tight end to either side. Pistol set. They hand it off to Banks. He's got room around the left side across midfield. He's hit and spun out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Dietrich Moore made the stop. First time we've called his name on the defensive end tonight. He had a massive game last week. The kick return for the touchdown. He had a pick that went for a touchdown but was called back due to a penalty. Still got credit for the interception. He makes the stop there, bringing up 2nd down and 5.
That was the same formation they had a while ago where they really hit the sideline with it.
They're doing a nice job getting outside on that 2 tight end formation, one on either side. Motion from left to right. They hand it off on the cross buck action. Coming to the near side. Rovon Banks, a lot of room across the 30. Got a blocker out in front. He hits the rear of his blocker and then gets run out of bounds over the left side inside the 10-yard line, or perhaps right at the 10-yard line. Makai Hanley coming in to help make the stop there, but it's 1st and goal now for Union.
I'll tell you what, this is a solid team, and what makes it tough for us, especially with the new coordinator and things, of just being able to line up with everything that they do. They have so many threats. There are members of my old days when I was coaching at Union where we played Jinx. Jinx had so many weapons, and you can't cover it all.
And not only
you have to learn how to slow it down.
Not only does Union have a lot of weapons, we talked about their size up front, and those last two runs have come from behind that left side of the line. Will Thomas at left tackle is 6'7", 327, and Demarion Thomas, their left guard, is 6'4", 344. I mean, that is a lot of size, and those guys are the ones that blew up those last two holes.
And they're setting things up. They're having the formation, they're doing this, they're having formation doing that, then they come back and do something different. It really plays on us.
Jenkins split out right on 1st and goal for from the 10 for Union. Attacking the end zone to our left. 3:28 to play in the first quarter. Union leads 7-0. 4 down linemen for the Tigers. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Banks left side. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but is able to stumble forward. He gets all the way down to about the 3-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play.
Well, they're sealing it heavy. They had 3 tight ends in the game there, and running that little nasty type bunch set, and well, they're just sealing it down, and it's just tough to. They got more bodies than we do.
There's a little bit of wrestling between a couple of linemen towards the end of that play. It's starting to get emotional down there in the trenches. 2nd down and goal from just outside the 3-yard line. Pistol set this time. That's Banks in the backfield behind Tempest, the tight end, or the quarterback, excuse me. Oh, there's a fullback as Tempest goes under center. Here's the snap. Banks takes it left side. He's wrapped up around the ankle and brought down for a minimal gain, maybe a half-yard that time. Streaking in to stop him was Mitchell Banning.
And they could do the formation. See, that's the same personnel group, but it was a completely different formation you got to line up to.
Brings up 3rd down and goal. Boy, they gave him a full yard on that, down to the 2.5-yard line. I get the feeling this is probably 4-down territory for Union here. I think they want to put 6 on the board, not 3.
Oh, yeah.
Split by himself to the right side is Ja'Kyrie Jenkins. They haven't thrown on the ball yet. Under center is Grayson Tempest. Bunch tight ends left. They've been running it at those tight ends on the left side. Here's the snap. They run it behind those tight ends again, and walking into the end zone is Rovon Banks for a touchdown, untouched. Union goes up 13-0 with 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter.
That's just tough to defend. If you start to defend it by lining more bodies over there, then they start attacking you to the other side.
Sure.
They're always going to go where they have more bodies, and it's tough when you have a team that's as good as Union to be able to stop everything. You have to take chances, but you just got to be careful.
So when you're the defensive end on that side and you're looking at basically 4 guys in front of you, how do you try to gum that up enough to allow your linebackers to flow over there and make a play on that type of a thing as the PAT is on its way and good, 14-0 Union?
That's a great point. You cannot allow a direct inside release. Okay, you're going to have to flatten that somehow. You got to flatten it, and this way you bounce everything outside, and then hopefully you can flow your linebackers over top.
So the goal being get the ball carrier to run horizontally and give your defense time to flow that direction.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just you can't allow a free release inside because that's at a 45-degree angle.
Sure.
They're going to be right on that linebacker before you can even, that linebacker.
Well, literally
can
before
even
they could get to him there, yeah.
And then what happens is you're bringing him with it.
14-0 Union. The Tigers need a response here with 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Right now, Broken Arrow being outgained 130 yards to 2 at this point in the ball game. The field position has been against the Tigers. They've protected the ball okay.
Yeah, we just definitely we got to show something here. We got to show something on offense here.
R.J. Spears-Jennings back to return the kick. He stands on the same hash as the tee. It's a high end-over-end kick. Spears-Jennings catches it at the 1-yard line. He's going to bring it out straight at the middle of the field across the 20-yard line. He is tripped up and brought down at around the 22, maybe the 22.5. So he does get a couple of extra yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for Broken Arrow there. Tigers looking for their first down of the game, and this is one of the things that I was looking for tonight, Spav. Last week, everything pretty much went as expected for Broken Arrow. They didn't hit a lot of adversity. They are here tonight, down 14-0 in the first quarter. How are these Tigers going to respond is the question.
That's it. That's perfect. And the whole point is we're going to have to play within ourselves. Quit trying to be somebody different. It's like we're playing out of our body right now.
There's no 14-point plays on the football field, I've come to learn. Here's a handoff straight at the middle. Good run for Jones. About 6 yards. I'll give him 4 out to the 26-yard line. Brings up second down and 6. But finally a positive play from the running game. That's just Jones's second touch of the night.
Yeah, and it's tough. See, we've got to be able to spread that defense out. Because right now, it's either coming
Blitz
off the
from the
edge
far
or
side.
blitzing.
Stieber gets rid of it quickly. It's caught at the 30-yard line,
Nice.
across the 35 and out to about the 37-yard line. That'll be first down yardage. I think that was Spears Jennings. Yes, it was on the catch. And the Tigers have moved the chains for the first time tonight. Now a little rhythm starting to show up for Broken Arrow.
Yeah, we got to develop some confidence somehow.
And Stieber, what you like about that, Spav, is he recognized where the blitz was from and threw it to the empty spot on the field.
I love it.
First and 10, Broken Arrow from its own 38. The Tigers have 2 receivers left on the short side of the field, a tight end left as well. Spears Jennings split out by himself to the right side. They faked the pass. Now it is a pass out to the left side. Fox with it across the 45. Undercut. Check that. That was the tight end on the catch that time. It was Joshua Wilhite that got out there and caught the ball. It's a 9-yard gain out to the 47. Second and 1 coming up.
Boy, Stevers did a great job on that play. Being patient in the pocket.
Yeah, because if he lets that go on without the pump fake, he throws it right to the defender.
Right.
Second down and 1, a lob pass to the far side this time. They were trying the quick hitter screen again, but there was enough pressure that Stieber had to let it go high, and that's the first incomplete pass of the year for Griffin Stieber. It comes with 32 seconds left in the first quarter of the second game.
It's hard to believe, gosh.
Third down and 1. Boy, Union's brought a lot of pressure, Spav. How do you counter that here?
Well, that's the point, is with the pressure, you're going to have to utilize your screen game. You have to slow it down somehow, spread it out, use certain formations.
Evan Robinson already waiting as the team quickly approaches the field. They hand it off to Jones straight up the middle, and he gets about 2, maybe 3 yards out near the 50-yard line. It's enough to move the chains. First and 10 Tigers.
Yeah, sometimes you can just formation it. You'll be able to recognize the blitz. You can't disguise a blitz in certain formations.
Ryan Fox in on the left side. And there is Daywin Atchison out there at wide receiver. Here's a handoff to the left side, or rather a pass attempt to the left side. It's incomplete. Brings up second down and 10.
Good thinking, though. I mean, running the flare screen, that was nice.
We've not seen Atchison much, but he's featuring prominently in the game right now. Sterling Ramsey not in on that last play. Now Ramsey re-enters the game. He will spell Ryan Fox. Atchison split out by himself right. Spears Jennings left, and that is now Ramsey in the slot left side. Tight end left as well on second and 10. A little reverse. Oh, now a reverse pass, launching it deep up the left side. Spears Jennings leaps, and he can't get there. It was off the mark to the right. Ramsey was the one that threw the ball, and it was a little bit short and off the mark, but the play was drawn up well. It caught Union off guard. It'll bring up third down and 10, but not until we get to the second quarter. That is the end of the first. 14-0 Union leads. Third and 10 coming up for the Tigers. We're going to take the break, flip the field around, and be back with more in just a moment. This is Broken Arrow Tiger Football on ArrowVision.
Recently, you've had to put your life on hold, and we're with you in this. At Ascension St. John, we're now open for appointments, and we are fully prepared for your safety and our care. As we open our doors again, our doctors, nurses, and care teams will continue to wear personal protective equipment. We've taken even more steps to clean and stringently disinfect all areas. We will maintain distancing in our waiting rooms, and will continue to limit visitors. And we will still screen all staff to protect their health and yours. Our emergency rooms are here 24/7. Please do not delay care. We're still delivering babies and performing surgeries. And we're open for your appointments, from specialists and surgical care to routine care and health screenings. Ask us about virtual visits. Ascension St. John continues to care for you, as we have been for almost a century. Thank you for trusting us.
Back here at Union Tuttle Stadium, I'm Adam Hildebrand alongside Steve Spavital. 14-0 Union as we get ready to start the second quarter. The Tigers have first and 10 from their own 49. Spav, last week I think the whole first half was played in about 35 minutes. It took us 36 minutes to play the first quarter tonight. A little bit of a different style of game, and the Tigers
absolutely
already with their back against the wall a little bit, but this has been a decent drive so far here.
Yeah, we have to just keep it up. Just got to keep. Number one, we have to keep their offense off the field. But we just need to play with it ourselves. Try to build confidence. Don't do something silly and back yourself in a bind. But now, here we are, 3rd and long. My point is get you a good play right here.
Quickly, let's go down to the field. Madison Dildine. Madison, what's the energy level like down there right now?
Yeah, guys, despite how the first quarter has gone, they're still looking calm and collected. Obviously, they're frustrated, but they're still remaining poised.
3rd down, 10, and a long throw up the right side, looking for Spears Jennings. It is broken up along the far sideline. Very good coverage, and there's that matchup we were talking about before the game. Jaden Rowe in coverage. Oh, check that. That was Makai Belt, the corner on the far side, and he's the one that breaks up the pass. It brings up 4th down and 10, but now, Spav, where you were punting from inside your own red zone earlier in the game, now you got a chance to pin Union back a little bit.
Right, and you got to be, they're going to put a lot of pressure on us right now, so you need to look at their possible fake situations and things of that nature, but
snap is back. Plenty of time this time, and Stieber gets a good one away. It's wobbly. A fair catch called for and made at the 16-yard line. So Union will start from inside its own red zone, moving left to right now as the sun continues to set here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The sky turning a little bit more purple than bright blue as we head towards darkness. I heard the other day that we had seen our last sunset post 8 o'clock for the year, and it made me sad already.
Yeah.
I don't like when the nights get shorter.
Exactly.
Or rather, when the days get shorter. Trips left for Union on 1st and 10 from its own 16. Right in front of us as we're situated high above the 20-yard line here on the north side of the field. Here's the snap. Tempest hands it off. Hit immediately in the backfield was Banks, but he's able to scamper away. Now hit from behind and knocked sideways. A gain of 6 out of the 26-yard line, but Banks able to turn a loss of 3 into a gain of 6.
Gosh, I tell you what.
Check that. They started at the 16-yard line, not the 20. That's a 10-yard gain out to the 26. They've not moved the chains yet. Well, that looks like a 1st down from my perspective, to be honest. But
does me too.
All right, there they moved the ball back 3 inches, so it's 2nd down and inches. Watch out for a deep shot here on 2nd and short. 2 receivers left on the wide side. Motion from right to left. The Tigers switch the defense. Pistol set. Tempest takes the snap, hands it off to the right side. Banks is hit at the line of scrimmage. Not a lot of room. He lost about half a yard back to the 20-yard line, and he's shoved backwards by about 4 defenders, leading the way that time for the Tigers.
What a hit.
Pardon me on the delay here. I think that was Shane Wyatt.
Yeah.
Leading the way that time for Broken Arrow. 3rd down and 1. Boy, this would be a massive stop if you can come up with one here on 3rd down.
Well, they got quad empty.
Left. Empty set. Split to the right side is Jenkins. Again, 4 guys left. Grayson Tempest, watch the quarterback draw here. Instead, they flip it out to the left side on a screen. It's caught. He trips, and he falls down back at the 19-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 2. And will Union elect to punt? This is dangerous from their own 24-yard line. As well as Union has played offensively, this is not a great spot. Here comes the punter, TJ Cowan, and the punt team will join him on the field as well.
Great job. We needed that.
How about that?
Especially when you're 2nd and 1.
Yeah, less than 1. We were all up here thinking it should have been a first down. They moved the ball back 6 inches, and then Union went backwards on the next 2 plays. Dietrich Moore is back to return. He joined us on the on Inside Tiger Football in the middle of the week. Cowan stands back on his own 9. The snap back to him. He's got plenty of time. Boots it away. It's a high, wobbly kick, not very deep. It hits at the 50-yard line and runs across the 40-yard line. There is a flag down just behind the line of scrimmage on the far side. Could that be a hold against Union?
Well, it was kind of...
Tigers weren't really coming for the ball.
It was released early, so I'm not sure what it was.
I haven't seen any preliminary signals yet.
It was just the timing of the flag that is throwing me off.
Illegal formation for Union. They didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage in the punt formation.
Yeah.
Tigers decline it, they'll get the ball on the 33-yard line.
See, they run that old school punt formation, and it's kind of like an arrow, and boy, those tackles have a tendency to
Creep
get
back off the line a little bit.
And so that's probably what they were doing.
Broken Arrow has it 1st and 10 from its own 33. Check that, they'll move it up 5 yards due to the penalty.
This is our best field position, too.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 now from the 38. Can the Tigers get on the board, trailing Union 14-0. 9:30 to play, second quarter. Stieber, quarterback draw over the right side. Got a little bit of room across the 40-yard line, and he's brought down at about the 43. Give him 5 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 5.
See if we're tempoing here.
And Stieber's got that good size. It reminds me a little bit of a Tim Tebow style on that run. And if you got a quarterback that can take a hit, then let him run the ball a little bit. Flips it out to the far side. Jones spinning around, catches it with the left hand, and he's ushered out of bounds after a short gain.
That's twice we put formation in the boundary, and we attack the boundary. That's really good. Put the tempo between the plays.
When obviously you're running into less space there, so what's the scheme, the goal of that scheme offensively?
The point is a lot of it is people don't in high school with the wider hashes, they don't really honor
the boundary.
Yeah, they say the boundary is another man.
Okay.
So if you can catch it just right, you can funnel it up with a pretty
3rd and 5.
good gain.
Stieber takes it himself at the middle after a fake handoff. Not a lot of room. Bottled up. Maybe got to the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down and 3 with 8:52 to play in the in the second quarter, and the clock on the move. Boy, this is a tempting spot here for the Tigers to go for it.
Yeah.
Right now, though, it looks like the punt team coming on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we needed that. We had a great, the efficiency on 1st down was just super. Because then we have like a 6-yard gain on 1st down.
Yeah.
And then
Second and 5.
We tempoed and
didn't quite get there. Stieber stands on his own 33. The snap is back to him pretty quickly. Not a lot of pressure from Union this time, and a good punt is away. A spiral kick way over the head of the receiver. And it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. That was a boot. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. 14-0 Union. 8:08 to play in the second quarter. And Union gets it back, moving left to right.
Yeah, they were basically on their punt is what they call Jesse James, which is a hold-up. They're going to hold you up and just kind of limit your coverage downfield or slow your coverage down.
The Tigers got their first stop of the game last time out. We'll see if they can use that to build some momentum defensively here. 2 receivers left, a tight end to either side, ace formation with Tempest under center. Tempest takes the snap, hands it off. Banks trying the left side. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. He's able to fall over forward as Mitchell Banning drags him down, but just a yard's gain out to the 21-yard line. Banning met him at the line of scrimmage and was able to kind of bow up to him a little bit.
See, that's a tough formation, especially when you're in the pistol type position, because you balance the defense up. You're totally balanced now. You can pick where you want to go.
Similar formation here with 2 receivers left and a tight end on either side, but now it's a shotgun set. Tempest with the running back to his right. Now Banks splits out to the right side. It's an empty set. 2 receivers and a tight end left, 1 of each on the right side. Here's the snap. Tempest wants to lob it up the right side, and it is incomplete. It hit the hands of Lane Wood, the tight end, who was running up the numbers on the right side, but he couldn't bring it in.
Very good. Well, empty, we were in a man coverage, and so we had everything covered really well.
That was Mekhi Hanley on the coverage that time for Broken Arrow. 3rd down and about 8.5 yards here, maybe 9. Yeah, really 9 from the 21-yard line. 2 receivers to either side on 3rd and 9. Shotgun set. Tempest wants to throw, looking right, pump fakes, now throws it over the middle. It's caught at the 35-yard line. 1st down yardage across the 40 and brought down at the 44-yard line. Hanley made the tackle. It was Gino Boyd on the catch, just a sophomore at 5'10", 162. He had plenty of space to work with.
Well, they went 2 wides on both sides, and they scissored them. They took the outside guy, or the inside guy, and put him vertical, and then they brought the other guy underneath. Very tough to defend. You got to have somebody in the middle, linebacker-wise.
First and 10 Union from its own 44, moving left to right. Gray jerseys and pants, red helmets. Here's the snap. Tempest fakes the handoff, rolling to his right, dumps it off at the 46-yard line. It's caught across midfield now. The tight end inside the 40 and ushered out of bounds. It was Lane Wood on the catch. And again, that was Mekhi Hanley on the stop. It's another first down, though, for Union into Tiger territory.
See, that's another one of those situations we're talking about where they overload with all the tight ends on one side, and one comes behind the line of scrimmage into a boot. You know, that's very difficult because you hide them.
Everything downfield was pretty covered, but Wood was able to escape underneath. When he caught it, there wasn't anybody within about 10 yards of him. Here's the snap. Tempest hands it off up the middle this time to Banks across the 35-yard line. Spun sideways. Again, Mekhi Hanley is there for the stop. And it's a gain of about 6 yards that time, down to the Broken Arrow 32.
See, running the draw on first down is pretty interesting. I mean, it was like a quads formation. The back was on the same side as the three receivers, so, and then you run your draw in that case, and he can pick his hole.
14-0 Union as we cross the 6-minute mark in the second quarter. Trips left, a tight end left as well. Banks to the left of Tempest. Tempest wants to throw it, but a flag. And offside. Union was lined up offsides that time.
Well, that was the exact same play. Run the draw and picking up and throwing the smoke outside.
Okay. Same formation, just a different way to run the play.
That's extremely tough to defend because you have the back on the same side as the three receivers.
That brings up second down, and it's back to 2nd and 10 after the 5-yard penalty. One receiver split left, that's Jenkins. Sure enough, quad right. Empty set for Tempest in the backfield. A diamond formation of wide receivers between the numbers and the hash on the right side. Tempest wants to throw left, though. Looking deep over the left side, lobs it up in the air. It is tipped away. Incomplete. Excellent coverage from the Tiger defense on the far side.
Great coverage.
That was Buddy Mack in coverage that time. There is a flag down at the 25-yard line. Boy, if that's against the Tigers, I don't know how that could have been defended differently in the air. Check that.
Who was that? Couldn't be.
That
on
was
our
actually
guy.
McGowan on the coverage that time. I don't see any way that would be on Broken Arrow in terms of pass interference. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Broken Arrow. Boy, I did not see what that was, whatever it was. It must have been back closer to the line of scrimmage, whatever it was, but I didn't. Usually with stuff like that, you can kind of see the extracurricular activities.
I know,
there weren't any fireworks.
There wasn't any.
I did not have any.
First and 10 Union now from the 23-yard line of Broken Arrow. Motion left to right across the formation. Tempest wants to throw it. Lobs it over the right side. He's got an open man at the 5. It's caught. Touchdown Union. 5:14 to play in the second quarter, and Union leads Broken Arrow 20-0.
That was that one play where we said he was open vertical. I told you earlier, but they motioned over to that formation and then ran the same thing, and it's God, that's tough to defend.
.5:14 to play in the second. Union has been very efficient offensively.
Very much so. Changing their formations, changing from the same personnel groups.
We've talked a lot about the pressure that they've put on the Tiger defense as the kick is up and good. 21-0. Union on top. The Tigers will get the ball back and could use the score before halftime.
Yeah, we need to. We're starting to do better offensively. We're just like shooting ourselves in the foot right now. We need to just really keep playing our game, play our game within ourselves. Don't try to try and score, get a big score right off the bat, because that's going to be very difficult to do.
Well, if you score too quickly here, you give Union another chance with the football.
Yeah, but
ideally it would take about 5 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd like to score, but quickly or whatever. But the point is we need to just really focus on what we do and get confidence. We're playing like we're afraid to make a mistake, you know.
Can the Tiger offense find some of that rhythm that it had last week down at the Metroplex? The Tigers went on multiple drives that were elongated, time-consuming drives, and they just were consistently 4, 5 yards a pop. We'll see if they can reclaim some of that rhythm this time around. Cowan has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. He's kicked one into the end zone today. Puts his right foot into it. It's an end-over-end kick. Spears Jennings will have a chance to return it. He caught it at the 4, moving to his right. Looking for a seam. Can't find one yet. Cuts it outside. Now spun down right at the 20-yard line. It ends up effectively being a touchback, but if he had gotten through that last arm tackle and not got spun down, he was approaching the edge of the defense if he was able to get around that corner.
That's right, because the pursuit from the field side, we just couldn't maintain it.
And it seems like when you make that catch on the one hash and want to return it to the opposite boundary, it seems like that play just takes forever to develop. It's a long run across the field. 5:05 to play before halftime. Quick pass to the right side. It's too high. Stever sailed it out of bounds. He got knocked over, had some pressure up front as well. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Tigers looking for a quick pass to start the drive. Broken Arrow 1-1 at Union in the last 3 years. 4-1 against Union overall in that same time span, but in trouble tonight, currently trailing 21-0.
Putting formation in the boundary here.
Here's the snap on 2nd and 10. A dump pass to the right side, looking for the screen, but it didn't develop very well. Jones is hit in the backfield. He'll lose 4 yards back to the 16-yard line. Able to get it to Jones cleanly, but there were 2 defenders on that far side that the linemen were unable to get out to, or the blockers, in that screen play, and so it ends up being a big loss.
I don't know what we was doing. They had 2 guys on us before we even caught the football.
3rd and long. Union has brought pressure all evening, and I would imagine this is another spot for it. 4.5 minutes to play before halftime. Stever has 2 receivers to his right, 2 left. He's got a tight end to his right in the backfield in kind of an H-back spot. Here's the snap. Stever wants to throw, steps up in the pocket, launches it up the left side. He's looking for Spears Jennings, but it's too far out in front of him. And good coverage on the play. That was Mackay Belt in coverage that time for Union, and it brings up 4th down and 14.
Yeah, they have so much speed in the secondary. It's just hard for RJ to get open. They're bringing that safety over on his side as well.
Spears Jennings has 2 catches tonight for a total of 1 yard on now 4 targets. The Tigers have gained only 32 yards in this first half, and just 2 first downs compared to 10 for Union. Punt is away. It's a good spiraling kick. Caught on the Union side of midfield, but room to work over the right side. A flag down at the 42-yard line. Ushered out of bounds is Jenkins. And a flag as he was hit late. So you got a flag at the point of contact on the tackle, and then a flag back over on the visitors' sideline, or near the visitors' sideline at the 47-yard line. We may have one going either direction here. The officials talking things over at the 26-yard line on the home hash. 3:57 to play first half. But as it stands right now, Union would have excellent field position. So since one penalty was during the play and another one was after the play, both penalties will be assessed. So they'll actually move the ball back 10
yards.
yards.
Start from where the first flag was?
Yeah, so from the first penalty, the penalty that took place during the play was holding on Union. So they'll mark 10 yards off from that spot and then go
then
15 yards forward. So it's a net 5-yard gain for Union. But because because the first penalty came so far back, that's a major net positive for the Tigers.
Right, exactly.
Because it was going to be Union ball on the BA roughly 30-yard line. Instead, this will move it all the way back into Union territory.
Plus 15, perhaps,
They spot the ball on the Union 48-yard line. That's a break for the Tigers. Still good field position for Union, though. The Tigers need to stop trailing 21-0 here with 4 minutes to play before halftime.
We got to watch the bootleg to the field.
Bunch tight ends right. They pitch it to the right side, looking for room. Undercut for no gain at the 48-yard line. On the tackle that time for Broken Arrow was Elisha Wilson.
That was great defense, too. Putting the formation, bunching those 3 tight ends into the boundary and us defending that. This is the first time with 2 running backs right now.
Absolutely. Mackay Belt in it running back to the right of Tempest. Rovon Banks to his left. I think that was Belt on that last carry. Second down and 10. Here's the snap. Tempest wants to throw left. Lobs it into the flat, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Rovon Banks but couldn't find him. That brings up third down and 10 for Union.
Boy, we were fortunate on that one. They have both tailback. They have 2 tailbacks in the game. They don't have a fullback and a tailback. There's 2 tailbacks, and they swung them both out in routes.
2 receivers left, 1 right on third down and 10, and again 2 running backs in the formation. Union needs the Broken Arrow 42, and Union takes a timeout. Coach Frederick didn't like something he saw.
Yeah, we got to be careful in the boundary there because that with those 2 tailbacks, they're going to take that receiver. He's shortened his split, and then he's going to basically just pin everything in, and they're going to flare that back out, and we got to be careful with that.
It is Mackay Belt is a pretty quick dude, and to get from the backfield to the boundary in that situation is not that far of a run. He can be on the loose in a hurry.
Absolutely. And you have to be precise enough because you have to compensate for their speed.
An important play coming up here for Broken Arrow. 3:17 to play before halftime, and this is a big opportunity to put the offense back on the field for one more opportunity to score before halftime.
Right. We just can't give up a big play right now. Keep everything underneath you and let's go. It's 3rd and 11.
2 receivers right, 2 left. Only 1 running back this time. It's Banks. Now they motion a man across the formation. Tempest is going to throw it. Looking over the middle. Now he has to tuck it, and he wants to run. Across midfield to the Broken Arrow 45, and he scampers out of bounds at the 38. That's enough for a first down for Union.
See, that's where he's dangerous right there. That's what we talked about where your D-line has to make plays. You got to box them in. Don't let them escape. We had a defensive end come under, and then we just gave him that opening there because we had great coverage.
Watch out. Here's that diamond formation left. Quad left, 1 receiver right. Empty set for Grayson Tempest, the quarterback, who just ran for the first down. He's lobbing it up the right side, and it's incomplete, too far, intended for Jakiri Jenkins, who pushed off the defender a little bit, but it didn't matter. It was too high of a throw. There is a flag back at right where the football is going to be placed here in a moment. Somebody is getting a late penalty here. 3:04 to play before halftime. And this will not affect the result of the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Union. That'll move him back 15. All the way back into Union territory again at the 48-yard line where the drive started. The difference now is instead of being 1st and 10, it's 2nd and 25.
Exactly.
They split out 3 to the left side, 2 right, Tempest again in an empty set. Union has used these empty sets more than I would have anticipated, I think.
Well, they got 3 on 2 right now. I mean, they have an
better
advantage.
Get another guy out there.
Yeah.
it would appear Broken Arrow going to be in his own defense here. Here's the snap. Tempest looking left. Now throws it back over the right side, and it's incomplete. Too far for the intended target, Lane Wood. Wood seemed to kind of stop his route on that play.
Yeah, it's funny that they're throwing to a tight end. And I think he's more of the run tight end.
He's got decent size at 6'2",
Oh,
200,
yeah.
just a sophomore, so maybe looking for a height differential, but they really didn't have one there.
Right.
Brings up 3rd down and 25, and this is a keep everything in front of you type play here for the Broken Arrow defense.
Now, see, here's the short split in the back to the same side on the boundary.
Yeah, watch out for Rovon Banks. He's matched up against a linebacker right now. They throw him a bubble pass to the right side. He's hit and brought down for no gain. Really a loss of 3 yards back to the 45-yard line. Julius McVeigh making an incredible individual play and getting the stop. The clock on the move with 2:45 to go, and the Tigers will get the football back before halftime.
That was a great play by him, playing out the screen. That's so hard this early in the year, too, for a D lineman to recognize the screen developments.
Dietrich Moore is back to return the punt. He stands at the 20-yard line. TJ Cowan stands at his own 30-yard line waiting for the snap.
We need to field it, too. We got to be careful now.
Motion right to left. Even on punt formations, Union is motioning guys around. Dietrich Moore underneath it at the 15-yard line. He calls for the fair catch and makes it, and that's where the Tigers will get it 1st and 10. Broken Arrow, Spav, last week was efficient in that 2-minute offense, and here's a chance to work on it against a better defensive opponent.
And we have, 2 timeouts left? I think we have 2 timeouts.
I think that's right. The scoreboard's
So,
out. 2 timeouts, yep.
Yeah, it's tough because we only have a running clock with all this construction here.
21-0 Union. But this game can have a very different feel going into the locker room if Broken Arrow can find a way to score here. 2 receivers right, 1 left, tight end right. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Jones slicing through the defense. He's got room across the right side, across the 25, breaks a tackle. Moving to the left side across the 40-yard line. Now out to midfield as he heads over towards the sideline. Stiff arms a man, and he's out of bounds at the Union 44. The best play of the night for the Tiger offense, and Broken Arrow is in business with 1:58 to play before the half.
Nice run. Tough run. He's a tough runner, He really does a great job.
Nathaniel Jones trying to spark something for this Broken Arrow offense. Now he heads over to the far sideline, and Marion Horn, another lightning bolt into the offense.
Right.
He'll split out to the left side, 2 receivers right, and a tight end on the right side as well. That's Joshua Wilhide over there on the right side. Now he's in an H-back formation. 1st and 10 from the Union 44. Here's the snap. Stieber wants to throw. Fakes now a pitch back, and he's hit, wrapped up back at the 49-yard line and brought down for a loss of 5. Whatever Broken Arrow was trying to do there offensively, it never quite developed.
Well, you knew we were going to throw the football because the running back was really a fullback. We had no tailback in there. So as a quarterback, you got to release that thing. You got to get that thing out of your hand because they're going to come after you. They know they're in a pass rush. The defensive lineman's already thinking pass. They're thinking of their pass rush, not run stopping.
2nd and 14. Stieber rolling right. He's got some time. Now dumps it off. Plenty of room for Wilhide across the 40-yard line. He's bumped out of bounds at the 32-yard line or so of Union, and it'll again move the chains for the Tigers.
God, that was awesome. What an awesome play. See how patient Stieber was on that pass? I really like what he's doing. He's really turned into a good quarterback.
I thought he was going to try to force that down the field briefly for a moment, but he checked it down, and it was the right call. A big gain on 2nd down, a gain of about 18 yards there. 1st and 10 now from the 31.
And it was a good call, run like a bootleg, which are hard to cover.
Fullback and a running back right. Stieber fakes the handoff. Plenty of time to throw. Zips it out to the near side. It came out wobbly. It's incomplete. Slipped out of his hand.
I think was it a slip or did he get it tipped?
One of the two.
I didn't know if he got pressure. One of the others.
Certainly it didn't make it cleanly past the line of scrimmage.
Right. But we had a receiver open.
2nd down and 10 now from the 31-yard line.
We got 1:10 left. We've got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. 2nd downs have been good for to the Tigers so far on this drive. 1 receiver right, 2 and a tight end left to the wide side of the field. They hand it off to Jones, trying to bust through the right side of the line. Able to get a few down inside the 28-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and a more manageable 7.
Now, this is probably going to be 4 down for us.
Yeah.
Obviously because of the score.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Same formation. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Jones up the middle. Not much room to work with. He gets a couple down to the 26-yard line and brings up 4th down and 5. Here's a whistle. And a timeout from the Broken Arrow sideline. Tigers will still have one more after this one. 21-0 Union on top. 41 seconds to play before halftime. But Spav, this is far and away been the best drive of the game for Broken Arrow.
Right. You know, he's mixing his play selection up because most people would sit there and say, okay, it's 3rd and long and you're going to run the football up the middle. You'd be surprised what happens when you spread that defense out. You know, you're doing some things. You never know.
Well, and it looked a little bit like Stieber was keeping his hands in there as if there might have been an option for him to pull it and keep it.
Right.
So essentially you're giving your quarterback and your running back trying to get in a 2-on-1 advantage somewhere in that decision process. And at the very least, you've made it a very achievable 4th down and 5 here.
Exactly.
Darkness has fallen here in Tulsa. A drone hovering above the visitors' stands here at Union Tuttle Stadium.
You got good eyes.
Well, there's these random red lights in the dark sky. It's a little bit creepy at first. It was like the Terminator was showing back up or something. 4th down and 5 from the 26-yard line. Moving right to left are the Broken Arrow Tigers. 2 running backs in the game here. I think that's the first time we've seen that from the Tigers today. 2 receivers left. Stieber takes the snap, wants to dump it over the middle. It's caught by Spears Jennings at the 10-yard line, and he's wrestled down at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal coming up for Broken Arrow with 34 seconds to play before the half. 1 timeout left. The Tigers aren't using it yet. 1st and goal from the 4. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Here comes the 11th player sprinting onto the field. Check that. That's the 12th player. They got too many guys on. No, they don't. It's an empty set. 2 receivers right. The snap is rolled back to Stieber. He has to pick it up, trying to charge his way forward. No room to work. With 20 seconds left, the Tigers will have to take a timeout. It'll bring up 2nd down and goal from the 6. A little bit of confusion there, and then a bad snap kind of torpedoed that play. Boy, a lot of time ran off the clock after that timeout. That play ended with about 19 seconds left on the clock, and I am pretty confident that Josh Blankenship did not let 7 seconds run off. They may add some time back to that.
I would think so. Well, that was just confusion right from the get-go, if you think about it. We were going to the empty. We had a guy coming off the field, onto the field into the receiver, and they had to line up. And you had a bad snap. That was just a play that wasn't destined to work.
12 seconds is plenty of time for 2 plays, maybe even 3, provided that the clock stops in a timely fashion.
If we throw the football,
21-0 Union leads. The Tigers, Spav, coming into this drive, I think had, if I remember correctly, about 38 yards of offense. They're now up to 110. It's been a much better look offensively this time with the football.
But we can do it if we just be patient and just play with ourselves. Don't lose our minds.
One thing Griffin Stieber did really well last week was he made quick, decisive throws. That's going to be necessary here with the short field just outside the 6-yard line.
Empty.
Trips left. There's a lineman split left as well. Here's the snap. They dump it over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown, Tigers!
See how we rushed it in there? That was awesome.
Broken Arrow gets on the board with 9 seconds to play before the half. There was a lineman, Spav. Who was that on the left side? I think that was Blythe Alexander, who was standing as if he was going to get the football on the left side, holding his arms up in the air, trying to distract the defense. And instead it's a dump pass over the middle for a touchdown. Joshua Wilhite puts the Tigers on the board. The PAT is good. And suddenly it's a 2-score game with just 9 seconds to play before the half, and that is going to be a different locker room at the half for the Tigers.
God, I love it. And great momentum. Great momentum. But what a neat play. I like how he just sits back here and he muddles the huddle, and all of a sudden you just, boom, you hit the run to the line of scrimmage very fast. You're not giving the defense enough time to see who's who.
And without at that point, there's no timeouts left. The execution had to be there. You weren't going to get another chance to call a timeout and go over to the sideline and talk things over. So excellent use of that last timeout to talk things over, make sure everybody was on the same page.
Absolutely.
Very well done.
I loved it.
21-7, Union still leads, but the Tigers trying to take some momentum into the half here.
But, you know, we ran the ball a little bit too there, and we did some really good things. I see some things we can develop on too when they had the 2 running backs in there, and we flared them. Boy, I mean, you can get them the ball in space, and they're going to make something happen.
Josh Blankenship may have scribbled a whole page worth of notes on that drive for the second half.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah, he'll be taking that into account.
But you know, that all started with a great defensive stop.
Yeah,
and so
good point.
And we were actually in fairly good field position, but that's been a factor this whole first half is field position. We've been always backed up into our own area.
Rovon Banks and Makai Belt back to return for Union. This will be the first kickoff of the game for the Tigers.
Got to be careful. They've got some skills back there.
9 seconds to play before the half. It's a short line drive kick caught by Banks at the 13-yard line. This could be dangerous. Out across the 20. He's hit at the 30-yard line and spun sideways. Good coverage there for the Tigers, because with a kick that's that much of a line drive, it doesn't give your coverage guys very much time to get up the field, and they were still able to adjust well.
Yeah, they covered very well, very well. I was afraid there for a while.
When anytime you see Rovon Banks running around in that much space, it makes you a little nervous.
Yeah. But they get the ball in the 31, and that's because with great coverage.
Sure.
You know, so you can see how effective a short kick can be.
Kneel down formation on the field for Union. Tempest under center, takes a snap, takes a knee, and that will end the first half of play. Union leads 21-7, but without harping on it, Spav, this is it. The Tigers had to feel a lot better going into the locker room now than had it been a 21, or at one point after that punt return, it looked like it could be a 28-0 score going into the break.
Exactly, I know, exactly. And of course, we got a good break there.
Let's go down to the sideline in Madison. Go down to the sideline in Madison-Tildine. Madison.
Thanks, guys. Coach, Union is up 21-7 at the end of the first half. What are you telling your team in the locker room?
We've got to poise. We're letting the moment kind of take over our emotions instead of locking in and doing our jobs.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Madison, with Coach Blankenship at the half. And Spav, before we get into some of our halftime entertainment here, let's break that down a little bit more, because as we mentioned, it's an entirely different feeling. Not only did you figure some things out offensively, you're within 2 scores. That's well within reach, and the defense has come up with some big stops. With that punt return, there was a penalty late, and it looked like Union might have the ball around the Broken Arrow 20-yard line.
Right.
Instead, the holding penalty sets them back into their own territory. Another personal foul penalty sets them back to 2nd and 25. The Tigers get a stop, and they're able to go down and put points on the board.
And that's the key with 3 and outs. I mean, you have to have 3 and outs in games like this. The 3 and outs are very tough to get. So you basically have to have 3 to 5, and that's going to keep you in the ball game. So that was really important for us to do that.
21-7, the halftime score. Union leads Broken Arrow. Union will get the ball coming out of the halftime break. But in the meantime, we've got a couple of things coming your way. We'll have another 100-yard segment with Madison. She spoke with Griffin Stieber earlier this week. We'll also hear from Ken Ellett here in just a moment. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football here on ArrowVision.
Finding your happy place is something special and different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Talk with our team. We'll give you the tools to build the financial future you want. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Hey Tiger football fans, I'm Madison Zildine, and we're here at Tiger Memorial Stadium about to go 100 yards with senior quarterback Griffin Stieber. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. You started at quarterback and then you went to tight end, and now you're back at quarterback. How has that transition been?
It's been good. I've just been working with all my receivers, getting the timing down. I came into to the season, wanted to play quarterback, wanted to get more action on the field, and I just came in here and made sure I got what I wanted.
How would you say switching roles has built your leadership?
It definitely has boosted my confidence and my team's confidence. I've been just trying to lift others up, and I'm trying to win a gold ball.
When you took the field for the first time in your first career start at quarterback on Friday night, what was running through your mind?
A little nerve-wracking, but I was confident in my team. We've been working hard all off season, and I believe in each one of my players.
Pretty early on in that game at Mansfield Legacy on Friday, we saw your coaches utilizing both the run and pass game. How does it feel to know that they trust you?
It feels great. I just got receivers that I trust to make plays for me and make me look good, and my linemen to give me time to throw the ball.
What are some of your goals for your final season in the black and gold?
I'm trying to win it all, and that's everybody's goal, and I really believe that we can do it.
Tell Tiger fans about a few guys on both sides of the ball that you think are going to contribute a lot this year.
Well, we got a couple people on the offensive side and defensive side. On the defensive side, we got Mitchell Banning, Trey Federhoff, Julius McVeigh, Devin Shaw, and a couple more people on the defense. And then on the offensive side, I think Josh Wilhite is going to contribute a lot. He's our tight end. And Ryan Fox, he caught one in the Mansfield game. And I also think Nate Jones and Michael Matthews are going to have real big seasons this year.
What's it like to have two weapons like Marion Horn and RJ?
It's awesome. You don't get very many chances to throw to two big-time athletes like that. And I love it because they make me look good and they make me feel good when I throw a big play.
As we near the end zone, let's do some rapid-fire questions. You ready?
Yep.
What song have you been listening to on repeat lately on Spotify?
Song? No Mentions by NBA Youngboy. That's a great song.
What have you been watching on Netflix?
Outer Banks. Great show.
Absolutely.
Great show.
Okay, last question. Chick-fil-A, Slim's, or Cane's?
Chick-fil-A. Easy.
Good answer. You can catch Griffin and the Tigers in action this Friday night at Union or on ArrowVision.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Welcome back to Broken Arrow Tiger Football. This is Ken Ellett, and each week that we're on the road, I've been going to have the opportunity to visit with one of our coaches from one of our sports, and very excited to meet for the first time and talk to tonight our head girls basketball coach, Shane Coffey. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, first of all, we got to talk a little bit about you. I mean, you're new to the program. Our listeners are going to want to know a little bit about you, so could you kind of give a little background?
Yeah, this is my 27th year in coaching, and I've kind of taken a unique route, through my coaching traits. I started out as an 8th grade boys basketball coach and caught the eye of a legendary coach here in Oklahoma, Mike De La Garza, who wanted me to be part of his staff at a very young age. So had the opportunity to work for him, learned a lot, obviously from him, and then there was a transition when he retired. I was kept on, so I was part of that next staff on the boys' side for a couple of years. We went all the way to the state finals, and it was an incredible experience. And then from there, I took over in 2000 the head girls job at Evan Memorial and was there for 11 years, and then was at TU the last 10 years.
So at TU, did you get to know Amanda Snyder while you were at TU?
I did. She's one of my favorites, for
Boy,
sure.
I've just gotten to know her a little bit this last year. What a great young lady.
Most definitely.
I had a laugh when you were talking about De La Garza. Back when we hired Phil Phillips back in the day, and he won the state championship. Mm-hmm. We tried to get De La Garza that hire, and he just couldn't quite pull the trigger and do it. And I remember seeing him after the fact. He said, "Well, you told me you were going to win a state championship. We did." And Coach, but he
Coach,
was.
Coach Delgarza's told me that story.
Has
I
he?
know exactly all about that. So
We really wanted to get him because he's such a great coach.
he is, for sure.
How's been your reception to Broken Arrow? Your reception from the community, the school?
It's been fantastic. I mean, from the faculty, to our players, to the parent body that's here. I mean, it's been just an incredible, welcoming experience. It just gets me fired up to want to get things started today and just kind of get this season rolling.
Have the girls responded pretty well?
They've been great. I was hired, I think it was the last day of March, and got to start working out with them in April. And going through that process, it was great because we got to prepare a little bit for the summer. And as we went into the summer, we really got to learn a lot about each other. And I'm a big relationship type of coach, so I really believe that if you get to know your players, and they get to know you, they're going to run through a brick wall for you. And this summer, we really got those relationships built and saw some great strides this summer. And so far in the fall, we're really doing the right things to kind of be going in the right direction going into the season.
That's great. That's great. I know that the girls, as I said already, I can kind of tell a little bit of just a difference in their actions and how their demeanor, and so important. So you're doing a great job from that. I didn't realize you actually started in April, though.
I did. That was one of the things I asked Steve. I was like, if I was to get hired, what can we do to make sure that I can get maybe in a classroom, have the opportunity to work with our girls? And he's like, we're going to make it happen. So
great.
We've got great administration here, that are willing to do whatever they can to kind of help all of our programs succeed.
Coach Dunn is, I was so excited when I was getting ready to retire that he was a possibility, and he was over in Owasso at the time, and so excited when they got him hired because he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, he is a great man.
Assistant coaches, new ones, I think you kept a lot of the same people.
I did. That was one thing that I want to keep, these ones that we've had on staff here over the years. And part of it is I know that having a new staff, can be a lot of change. And I know for me coming into this, coming from the collegiate game over the last 10 years, I needed to have a little bit of a foundation of what BA is all about, and how things are run and all of this. So I've leaned heavily, on Amber Mathern, Courtney Kaufman, Jimmy Walker, to kind of just get me through, the thick and thin here originally. But I did hire one of my former players that I recruited from Broken Arrow, that I got to play for him at the University of Tulsa, Alex Galden, and I'm so stoked that she's here.
I
think
love
she's
Alexis.
Going to make a huge impact.
Yeah. She was a great player, just a great young lady, and really excited that you got her on your staff.
We are thrilled.
What do you like to see on a basketball court?
One of the things I think is really, really important in the game of basketball is you've got to have a lot of spacing on the offensive side of the ball. And that's one of the things that we've really been drilling and kind of teaching since day one in April. And we're starting to really kind of understand that. And they're seeing how, because of space, what we do offensively, things are going to be able to open up, whether it's driving lanes, kick out opportunities. So that's good. But we're going to really try to push the tempo a little bit. We've got a team led by Talia Jones, a senior this year, that is going to make a commitment here in a couple weeks to a Division I school that we're really, really excited for. But she led this team last year with, I think, 22 points a game, 23 points a game she averaged, and she was kind of the heart and soul, and she loves to run. And then we've got an addition of a point guard this year, a freshman, and Mackenzie Mathern, that we think that can kind of get the ball up the floor to allow that game to happen. And it's just teaching these kids the importance of that space to allow it to occur.
That's kind of exciting to have a freshman of that caliber
in
your program, and knowing you got that for so many years.
Yes, I mean, that was one thing that was real enticing about the job, knowing that this foundation, this freshman class, has been spoke highly of since before I got hired, and just knowing that you have that to kind of build on for the next 4 years to get this program back to that championship caliber that it once was, definitely is nice to see.
Well, you know better than anybody, leadership is so important. What do you think? How's it look for your seniors, or are you looking for some underclassmen to lead?
It's been great, this leadership side of things. I've really challenged our senior group. Talia is a little more of a soft-spoken individual, but she leads by her actions. April Van Jackson is a senior that, doesn't necessarily get a lot of the accolades, but she is a tremendous leader on the court, off the court, she's the one that I know can help lead us with accountability, you know, and all of that. So excited about that. And then we have another one, Anissa Herrera, that's a senior that played a lot last year, but her role, I don't know if she really understood her role as a whole, but this girl has really kind of stepped up. Knowing it's her last year of playing basketball, and her demeanor on the floor has just been tremendous, and she's been really helpful for our younger kids, and it's just been enlightening as a coach to be able to see that growth from where I saw her in April to now, and what she's wanting to do for our team.
That's great. That's great. Just last question here. The Frontier Valley Conference, pretty tough old conference. Now, Oklahoma City schools would probably argue that their conference over there, but you got to admit Frontier's pretty tough.
Now, Frontier is always tough. When I was at Evan Memorial, I always knew that Jinx was really, really tough, and we always played Jinx in the Jinx tournament, and we always ended up playing Jinx or Union, you know, in the state tournament, you know, along the way. But yeah, this Frontier Conference is brutal. You know, I've had the opportunity to watch some film of last year's games, and you know, looking at Union, they're loaded. Bixby is phenomenal. I mean, they were state runner-ups this past season. Jinx is going to be good. Sand Springs is solid. Owasso, I mean, Booker T. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to be ready to play every night, and that's the big thing for high school kids. They sometimes don't understand the mindset just yet of where you need to be to go win those games, but we're going to get there for sure, where we have that mindset that we're going to go into every game this year thinking that, knowing that we've got to do the little things, the details to win games in the Frontier Conference.
Well, Coach, I wish you all the luck in the world. I'm really excited to watch some girls basketball, and we'll be looking forward to seeing some games.
Well, thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
So I've known Christy Sturgeon for a little over 3 years in my capacity as a school administrator at the high school in Broken Arrow. And Christy has a heart for kids. She is relentless about serving our kids and families.
I've worked with Christy going on 4 years now, and it feels like longer only because she's the type of person that I feel like I've known forever, because she's so genuine and sincere.
Miss Sturgeon is very welcoming to absolutely everybody, whether you're her student or not her student. If she sees you in the hallway, she'll make sure she goes out of her way, says hi. She really just makes a big difference in the school, and everybody can see it.
Because you were at the Freshman Academy and coming
No,
over, or new?
I moved 3 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness, where'd you move from?
Florida.
That is a huge move. Okay, excellent. Well, that's a good way to look at it. I'm impressed. Good. I love interacting with students and being able to create systemic change for them. I'll tell you, one of the things that I think has been the biggest struggle for kids that have come to see me in my office is that they lack a sense of direction and purpose, and that's causing them an extreme amount of stress. They're dealing with depression and anxiety, and how we think about things. You know, the pressure that we put on ourselves, that need to be perfect so that you can get in. Those are all things that we all deal with inside our own heads. One of the goals that I have for being at the high school is just making sure that school counselors are doing the work that we're supposed to be doing. I just felt like we were getting kind of stuck in a rut of being the schedule queens, and that's really how the kids know us. And I really felt like it was important for us to be able to really interact with students, to help them understand that we're more than about their academic needs. We're about social emotional needs. We're about college and career needs. We're about helping them to discover who they are. And so to be able to walk a student through that and to help them to discover their purpose and to create a vision for their future is incredibly rewarding and motivates me to be better, to learn more, to connect more. It motivates me to advocate with my other counselor friends at school, my coworkers, to really invest in their students as well, and to help them understand that it's not just about, you know, academic guidance. It's not just about checking a box to make sure that they graduate. It's about really meeting the holistic needs of every student and interacting with them in a way that they feel heard and listened to, and I think that just keeps you coming back. It makes you want to be better. It makes you want to do more. I want to make sure that every student, as much as I can, all 3,000 or 4,000 of our students, or 430 of my little students, my world, that they feel heard, that they have a voice, and that they know that they have someone that will cheer them on. We hold each other up. Our worries can be balanced not just by me, but by all of us together, and that's the goal. That's what we want to create.
She goes above and beyond what any principal would want in a school counselor. She's positive, she's solution-oriented, she's always going to do whatever it takes to help a kid.
If anybody deserved Counselor of the Year, it is Miss Sturgeon. She is wonderful at what she does.
And we don't have to face it ourselves, right? Yeah. Doesn't that feel good to know that? We're not alone. That's right. That's it.
Welcome back to Union Tuttle Stadium. Adam Hildebrandt, Steve Spavital with you as we approach the second half of play. Let's look at some first half numbers. As Union leads Broken Arrow 21-7. Griffin Stieber, 9 of 14 for 63 yards and a touchdown. Nathaniel Jones, 6 carries for 51 yards. Stieber, 6 carries for 3 yards. And Marion Horn, just 1 touch for a -1 yard. Joshua Wilhite has 3 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown, as we've seen him pretty involved in the passing game from the tight end position. R.J. Spears-Jennings, 3 catches for 23 yards. Nathaniel Jones, 2 for -4 yards. And Sterling Ramsey, 1 catch for 12 yards. Grayson Tempest has been good for Union, 9 for 15 for 92 yards through the air and a score. Rovan Banks has 13 carries for 89 yards and a touchdown. Damon Sanders scooped up a fumble and ran it 14 yards for a score.
I know.
Grayson Tempest and Jaden Rowe each have a couple of touches on the ground as well. And then the leading receiver is Lane Wood, the tight end, with 2 catches for 41 yards. Gino Boyd has 2 for 32. And Damon Sanders has 1 for 18. Nobody else with more than 6 receiving yards for Union. Union outgaining Broken Arrow 218 to 116, but Spav, a lot of those yards for the Tigers came on that last drive of the half, in which Broken Arrow was able to go down and punch the ball into the end zone and get within 2 scores here.
But what was interesting is, you know, we were throwing the ball, we were doing some things, we were doing what we were doing last week. Being very efficient with the ball. You know, we were running it, we were throwing it, changing formations. I really enjoyed that drive. That was like from last week. But now we're going to have to continue that. Now we're going to have to kick off to them. Now this is a great opportunity to get the field position, which we didn't have the first half, is to get a 3 and out and then force them to punt and get us good field position. That's going to be crucial. I'm flying down to Texas tomorrow.
You got the early flight, yeah?
Yeah, I know. I got to go see Baylor and
what time's the alarm set for?
It's going to be early.
In my younger days, I might have just stayed up so I didn't have to wake up early, but I
may have to.
I'm not in that mode anymore.
I get to see my little mad dog.
There you go.
And Bubba.
Broken Arrow warming up down and to our left. To our knowledge, no flights for any of the Tigers early morning tomorrow morning. We always had about 6 a.m. Stretching and conditioning the morning after the game, and then film right after that. If we won by enough, we got donuts, though, so that was usually good.
Yeah.
But my favorite stretch was always our strength coach would have us start at the goal line and just slowly walk backwards 100 yards to get the quad stretched out a little bit. And it was easy. I didn't have to run. That was far and away my favorite day after the game stretch. Well, the Tigers, you talked a little bit about what the offense was doing on that last drive. Broken Arrow was able to come up with some stops on 2 of the last 3 possessions as well. So the defense starting to adjust. We've talked a lot about all the motion and different formations that Union has thrown at the Tiger defense tonight. What do you think was some of the conversation at halftime as they had a chance to break that down on the whiteboard a little bit and try to adjust to what Union was doing offensively?
And I think that's exactly what it is. It's just working on your alignments, especially defensively, because they're getting those quad formations. And, there was a couple times where we said, whoa, man, we got 2 over their 3. We have to get lined up properly on some of this stuff. And but they're so dangerous, the fact that they'll get the three tight ends on one side, and they can do a lot of things out of that, and the power game on the run. And as soon as you try to compensate for that, then they have their counters, and those counters can be very effective too because they have so much speed with the tailbacks.
Let's talk about that bunch tight end formation. And when we say bunch tight ends, we mean usually on whichever side of the line. If it's on the right side, there's a tight end on the line of scrimmage. There's one off the line of scrimmage to his outside and one to his inside as well.
It's
he kind of an arrow.
He kind of flexes just a tad.
Yeah.
You know, he widens his split, the tight end does, on the line of scrimmage.
So defensively, in zone, it doesn't change a ton for you. But if you're playing man pass coverage and you've got, in theory, a linebacker, a safety, and a corner all working together to cover those guys, what does it take? Because you can't really cross ways. You're going to run into each other. So what kind of communication does it take on the line of scrimmage to be able to successfully guard something like that in man coverage?
Well, I think you just have to rely. It's not so much communication. You're going to know what it is. I think it's more you have to rely on your technique, your alignments. That's what's the secret to it, I think. You're going to have to play inside gap, inside gap, inside gap, and force it to come to the outside. So I think it's more just how you play it, not so much how you line up and communicate with it.
Shout out to a long-term family friend of ours named Andy, who has watched me growing up since I was a baby and heard my comment on my younger years and has now texted me in anger.
Younger years.
Broken Arrow needs a stop to start things off. A good kick is away. It's caught back at the 4-yard line. Bringing it out the right side is Union. Jalen Rowe across the 20 and wrapped up, brought down right at the 25-yard line.
That's good coverage now, I'm telling you.
R.J. Spears-Jennings on the stop.
I know, but they have such a threat back there.
Absolutely.
You know, they're kind of like us on the kickoff team. We have a threat back there, and so do they.
Well, and they've got a threat, and then another threat, and then their backup guy that they trot out there is a threat.
Yes, exactly.
There's plenty of athletes on both of these teams to return kicks. 1st and 10 Union from the 25, moving left to right.
Here's the three tight end set we were talking about.
Right out the gate with it in the second half. They're on the boundary side, short side of the field with the ball on the right hash. Here's the snap, handoff to Rovan Banks, cuts it back to the left side, got a little space, steps inside a defender, hit hard, and knocked down for a gain of 10. That should move the chains as he's out to the 35-yard
See, there's your counter action.
Yep.
I mean, that's the counter off of your bunch, and they're going back weak. We kind of over compensated for it.
When Rovan Banks, we mentioned he started the year at quarterback last year. He is very talented with the ball in his hands, reading the defense and trying to get in the direction that is being given to him. Here's a flag and a penalty against Union. Offsides on the Redskins. That'll be 1st and 15 now as it goes back to the 30-yard line. Union has the ball directly between the hashes. They'll reset. 4-down lineman for the Tigers.
Here's where we got to be careful with the screen game now. They love to give the tailback the ball. Here they're in the bunch
Same
again.
bunch formation. Trip, tight ends right in the bunch set. They hand it off to Banks straight at the middle, cuts it back left again. A lot of room to work. Tripped up, and he tumbles forward out to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 10. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Some late pushing and shoving. The officials have let him play in the trenches quite a bit. There's been several times where there's been kind of mini wrestling matches going on towards the end of the play.
We got a guy hurt up top.
There's a Tiger down near midfield on the far side. That is Jalen Franklin, who hobbles over to the far sideline. Got a stoppage on the field.
Well, we're going to have to compensate for that. That's twice they've ran that same play. They run the three tight ends to one side, and then what they did is they pulled the inside guy. They pulled the inside tight end that's off the line of scrimmage. That's the one that's inside the tight end that's on the line of scrimmage. They wrap him up in the hole, and then they send the backup in there with it.
So a lot of times your linebackers are reading the guards, whether or not they're pulling.
Mm-hmm.
Who's responsible is it to try to track down that kind of a pull from inside tight end?
But I think he is a read.
Okay.
See, I really think he's a read. You have to take, as linebackers, you have to take what they do and then figure out where your reads need to go. Where do you need to place your eyes? and both of them need to be reading it the same thing.
2nd down and 5 for Union from its own 40-yard line, moving left to right. Gray jerseys and pants, shiny red helmets. The Tigers in black helmets, white jerseys, gold pants. Here's the snap, another whistle, another flag. And again, Union lined up offsides. That's the second time that the offense has done that on this drive.
I know. It's something's kind of.
Are the receivers maybe not communicating with the officials out there? Is there a tight end in that bunch that's too far up? I mean, it's strange. You just don't see it very often. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Let's go down to the sideline real quick, and Madison Dildine, who's got an observation for us. Madison, what are you seeing down there?
Hey guys, with number 3, it was that left ankle, but now he's back on the field ready to go.
All right, back out there is Jalen Franklin ready to roll. Thank you, Madison. 2nd down and 10 from the 35 for Union. Trips right on the wide side of the field. Banks moves to the left of Tempest in the shotgun. They hand it off to him on the delayed handoff back at the middle, breaks an arm tackle across the 40 and powers his way forward out to the 44-yard line. Give him 9. It will bring up 3rd down, but just a 1 yard to go for Union.
Boy, that was a good run.
You got hit in the backfield, and you had a guy there.
Well, he just surfed underneath our defensive end, which is just right out of his reach.
Brings up 3rd and 1. Broken Arrow's come up with a couple of stops on 3rd and short in this game. Can they find another one here? Trips left in the tight end bunch set. Tempest under center. He dropped the snap. It's loose on the floor. There's a big pile for it at the 44-yard line. If nothing else, even if Union recovers it, it'll be short of the 1st down, but the Tigers may have the football. We'll see who comes out of the pile. Nope, it is signaled that it is Union football. However, that does bring up 4th down and a decision for Kirk Frederick.
Let's see where we're at. It's a good
yard.
Good yard, yeah.
Union in its own territory. A timeout. Union wants to talk things over here. If they're going to go for it, you certainly want to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row. Yeah. But this is a little bit I mean, we've seen Union on several occasions tonight, Spav, on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, come up just short.
And you notice when they call timeout and they have a huddle, they have everybody in the kitchen sink in that huddle almost. So you as a coach, you really don't know what personnel groups is going to be in the game.
So do you essentially have the punt return team
right
there on the sideline just in case?
You're looking for the punter. You're looking for all kinds of things right now because, you know, you have about 15 people in the huddle. You can see these came off the sideline now.
This looks like the punt team that has jogged out onto the field.
And there's the punter coming on late. You see him?
Yep, they hit him down here in the corner. They hit him successfully for me. I couldn't find him.
I know.
Certainly.
I was looking for him too.
Nobody back to return. And now Dietrich Moore will sprint back to try to catch this punt. Snap is back, a little high. The Tigers don't come after it. It's a high, wobbly spiral. It'll be a little bit short, and it's caught by Moore at the 30-yard line, trying to return it across the 40 out to the 45. He breaks a tackle, moving to the right side, trying to get a block. He's hit from the side and tumbles forward inside the 30-yard line of Union. Excellent field position for the Tigers on a heads-up play, and a good return from Dietrich Moore.
God, I just love that kid. He is just, he's just made of steel. You know, he has ice water in his veins. I tell you, he's just.
I mean, it is a bold strategy to not fair catch that ball surrounded by coverage guys.
Well, you wanted him to field it. You know, you wanted him to field it, but he just took it to another level. I just love that young man.
He has given Broken Arrow the ball at the Union 29-yard line, trailing 21-14, but a lot of time left. 9:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. Griffin Stieber out to command the offense for the first time in the 2nd half. Tight end to either side, receiver to either side. Here's the snap, handoff right side. Marion Horn looking for the corner, turns the corner, inside the 25. He is spun sideways and stood up, knocked out of bounds around the 24-yard line. Give him about 5, brings up 2nd down and 5. And Spav, we saw later in that first half, the Tigers were able to stay ahead of the chains a little bit better. That's going to be key in the 2nd half as well.
You know, and what was funny too is we were very efficient on 1st down, but it's usually the 2nd down and 3rd down that's really been our difficulty.
Twins to the boundary. Two receivers right. Now the two tight ends move to the right side as well with the ball on the right hash. Here's the snap. Handoff straight up the middle. Jones with it through the middle of the line, across the 20-yard line. First down yardage down to the 18-yard line. Give him 6 on the play. Brings up 1st and 10 for Broken Arrow from the Union 18 as the Tigers have entered the red zone.
Great run. Great run. You know, we're keeping the same personnel group in the game right now, and we're mixing up their formations with it.
Sterling Ramsey split right. Spears Jennings in the slot right side. Tight end right on 1st and 10. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Jones, not a lot of room that time. He does get a yard down to the 17-yard line, and there's some late pushing and shoving again, but no flag. Officials, again, have let those guys play quite a bit, and it hasn't ever gotten out of hand. There's just been some late contact on some of these plays. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Tigers, right between the hashes, moving right to left here in the 3rd quarter. Broken Arrow trying to get within a possession. Union scored twice in the 1st quarter and is led by as many as 21. Trips right. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Stever wants to lob it up the right side. He's got a man wide open, and it's caught for the touchdown. R.J. Spears Jennings finds the end zone for a 2nd straight game, and it's a 1-possession ball game here at Tuttle Stadium.
How cool was that? He's wide open.
Wide open. Excellent scheme.
How do you let him wide open? I mean, the best receiver on the field, you're going to leave him wide open.
8:02 to play in the 3rd. The Tigers on for the point after. Snap back, ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. 14 straight points rattled off by the Tigers. It's a 7-point ball game, Spav.
Boy, this is great. Great game. I love it. I tell you what, that momentum going into half has really paid off now because.
Well, now you've solidified that in the 2nd half, right? It was a hopeful moment going into the locker room. Now all of a sudden you're within a score. A pick 6 can tie this ball game, and you put yourself in a position where this is now a very manageable ball game for Broken Arrow.
That's right.
You don't even have to try to throw the ball a ton or get out of your usual rhythm. You can do what you're used to doing.
That's the key. You can be yourself. You can play your game, play football your way. That's exactly right.
Let's try to go down to the sideline. If Madison Dildine can hear us, I would imagine it's pretty raucous down there right now. What's the atmosphere down there right now, Madison?
Guys, they are so excited. The energy is completely shifted, and the momentum is back on the sidelines as well as on the field.
How are you doing down there?
It is hot, I'm not going to lie. I am sweating a lot, but it's fun down here.
Well, you add the temperature and the humidity to the excitement now, and it's easy to get riled up. Madison Dildine on the sidelines for us tonight. He's Steve Spavital. I'm Adam Hildebrand. The Broken Arrow Tigers are back within 7 with 8:02 to play in the 3rd quarter.
You know, it was interesting to see. It all started, we kicked off to them. And then we forced them to punt, and then we make a great return. We're back in the ballgame.
Big stop on 3rd down with the bobbled snap for Union. Here's a great kick, and it carries all the way back a yard deep into the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and Union will start 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line.
I think we're starting to figure out. I think we're starting to figure out a lot of their formations now with that heavy bunch that they use with the tight ends, and we have it pretty much figured out right now.
Now the question is, how does Grayson Tempest respond, the Union quarterback? He's not had a lot of pressure on him tonight, and Union was in control of this game for the most part in the 1st half. This is the first time that he's really needed to go out and start to make something happen.
It's tough to put pressure on when they do what they do.
Two receivers left. Rovon Banks moves to the right of Tempest in the shotgun set. They hand it off to Banks. Not a lot of room, scampering around a defender to his left, and he's able to get 4 yards out of the 24-yard line. I tell you what, Rovon Banks has been able to make something out of nothing several times this evening.
Well, it's that draw. And, when you run the draw, the offensive linemen are going to allow the defensive linemen to go where they go, and then you just kind of filter and find the opening. And that back is good at it.
Takes a lot of vision.
Yes. He's good at it, but we defended it well.
2nd and 6, 2 receivers left, tight end left, in a pistol set this time. Here's the snap. They fake the handoff. Rolling to his right, dumps it off into the flat across the 30-yard line. 1st down yardage for Damon Sanders. Spun out of bounds eventually by Mekhi Hanley. It'll be a 1st down for Union out near the 40-yard line. And there's a Union player down on the back side of that play, way back at the Union 26-yard line on the far hash.
See, that's the advantage that they have with those tight ends like that, and we do the same thing, is running those bootlegs like that. They're so hard to defend because of the fact that.
Well, on that play, for instance, the fake handoff was a fake delayed handoff. And so by the time he did the fake delay and then spun and started his bootleg, at that point, Sanders is most of the way across the field already. He's already well into his route, and it's easy for Tempest at that point to just turn, look, one step, and throw.
And, you know, they hide behind the line of scrimmage when he comes, you know, into the flat area. But the difficult thing is when you line up as a wing or a slot type formation there, you have to honor that, and he can block very well. And then all of a sudden you come back the other way, and it just opens up.
Well, not to mention the size. I mean, Demond Sanders is 6'2", 212. He's got Jennings by about 25 pounds. He's got Moore by about 15 pounds.
Exactly.
He's got Jadaean Floyd Wright by about 3 inches and 40 pounds. So he's just a big guy, so he can block you. He can move with you a little bit, and then if you do catch him in space, it can be tough to bring him down.
Right.
The player still on the playing surface is Gino Boyd, who's had a couple of nice catches in this game for Union. A wide receiver. He's up and walking back off the field under his own power. He started to take off and get into a little bit of a trot, but the athletic trainer slowed him back down and said, let's take our time here. Let's not get overexcited and extend something here.
Well, just like Madison was saying, it's hot. It's humid. You don't drink. You got to drink a lot.
And it was the same way last week. We didn't see a lot of Tigers cramping in that game, and we really haven't seen them cramping in this game either. 1st and 10 Union from its own 41. Banks moves to the left in the shotgun of Tempest. Here's the snap. They hand it off to him straight up the middle. Got a hole right up the gut across the 45. Spun forward out near midfield. They mark him down at the Union 49. It's a gain of about 8.5. Brings up 2nd down and short.
And see, that was off the same formation. He was showing bootleg. But what he did is he kicked out and we came underneath. It became a split zone.
There is a flag down as well as a broken arrow player down. The flag is a sideline warning against Union. And just as we say we haven't seen many cramps from the Tigers, I think we might have one now. 6:57 to play in the third quarter.
Do we know who that is?
I haven't been able to catch a number yet. That is Taylor Griffin, 5'9" junior defensive back for Broken Arrow, who's down right at the point of the right side of the U logo at midfield. Similar to the University of Miami U logo, just different colors. He's now walking off under his own power, so that's an encouraging sign.
So he's holding his hand, looks like.
Might have smashed a hand in there. It's easy to, with the pads and the helmets flying around, it's easy to smash a hand in there somewhere. 2nd down and 2 for Union. Honestly, this is where the Tiger defense has been in its best shape tonight. 2nd or 3rd and short. 2 tight ends left. Now motion from right to left across the formation. They fake the jet sweep, hand it off to Banks straight up the middle. He spun sideways and thrown backwards back at the 45-yard line. Eventually bringing him down that time was Shane Wyatt. He was the 2nd man to get there. Now a couple of flags come in late, and the Union fans below us are applauding. They certainly think those are going against the Tigers. We've mentioned several times there's been some extracurriculars pushing the boundaries towards the end of these plays. We've not seen a lot of flags, but somebody stepped over the line that time.
See, here's going to be 3rd and 6.
We got unsportsmanlike, number 40 White. We have unsportsmanlike, number 40 White. He has ejected himself from the game.
Oh, wow. Shane Wyatt got 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on that singular play. and therefore has been ejected from the ball game.
Yeah,
boy,
but
it's pretty rare to see two at the same time.
Well, he threw his flag. See, I mean, his towel. He ripped his towel off and threw the towel up in the air.
As if it were a flag?
After his initial.
Okay. Interesting. Well, that does two things. One, it takes White out of the game. And two, it is a 30-yard penalty. So now
we
Union,
had 3rd and 6.
Yep, Union all the way now down at the Broken Arrow 25-yard line. 6:32 to play in the third quarter. Broken Arrow down by 7, 21-14. Motion from right to left across the formation. Something looked funny about that. Handoff to Rovon Banks, left side, trying to stretch it out. Not a lot of room. He gets a couple down to the 23-yard line, but that was pretty well stretched out by the Tigers there. Now another Tiger defender is down. That's Dietrich Moore down right on the 30-yard line on the numbers on the far side.
Yeah, it's cramp.
Yep, lifting that leg up, trying to stretch him back out.
Boy, I tell you what, Broken Arrow's so lucky to have Daniel Stewart and Grace Warren. Those two are just unbelievable athletic trainers.
Athletic trainers are often the unsung heroes. You don't think about them much until they're needed, and then you think about them a lot. And so
they do such a great job.
Happy to have them around. Spav, I don't know why everyone's cramping. It's like 68 degrees up here in the press box with no humidity. I mean, what's the problem here? Yeah.
Yeah, we need to ask Madison.
Let's go down to the sideline, Madison. I know you were warm earlier. What if you had to guess? Let's play a game because I have an app on my phone and you're probably not looking at yours. So if you had to guess, what would you say the current temperature is right now?
I have no idea, but that joke was not funny. That was not funny.
I have 88 degrees outside from my weather app right now, so not half bad, but certainly warmer than it is up here.
Yeah, it's nice up here, Madison.
Must be nice.
Do you have a little breeze, don't you?
Yes, the breeze is very helpful.
I think the breeze is the hot air coming from the radio booth up here as we bloviate and brag about our conditions up here in the press box. 6:14 to play in the third quarter. Moore is still down on the far side, still trying to stretch him out. Now, one thing, you got, I presume that Broken Arrow probably doesn't have it at its disposal. A lot of the time, certainly at the pro level and sometimes at the Division I level, you'll see a guy cramp, they take him into the tent, they give him an IV to rehydrate him real quick. This is a little bit, you just got to make him chug water as quick as he can to try to help him out. My dad one time came home. He was a high school football official for a long time, and he came home one time, and he couldn't hardly walk in the door because he was cramping, and I saw him, I was a kid, I saw him get the jar of pickles and chug the juice, and it about made me puke. I was not a fan of that.
I wonder if that really works. Does that work?
It does, yeah. It's the electrolytes, the sodium and the electrolytes. 2nd down and 8 from Union. That'll help us get our conversation back on track a little bit. Fake handoff, Tempest rolling to his right. Pretty well defended by the Tigers. Now trying to scramble with it. A flag down in the defensive backfield. He slides, and he is bumped late. He wanted a flag on that. I didn't think that was late enough to cause a penalty, but there is a flag down in the defensive backfield, and that concerns me that it might be in the area of a defensive holding.
Yeah, because they ran the boot. Out of a different look, actually. They ran the bootleg, and I tell you what, Tempest is good at running the football. We got to keep the containment there. But we did a great job in the coverage.
There was a defensive end that was in the area. There is a defensive holding call against the Tigers. That is now 40 yards in the last 2 plays on penalties against Broken Arrow.
Right, we had a 3rd and 6, and we just shoot ourselves in the foot here.
It's now 1st and goal Union from the Broken Arrow 8, with Union having only run 1 play in that time frame that gained yardage. 5:40 to play in the third quarter. Union leading 21-14, trying to extend us back to a 2-possession game. I formation, tight end left. We've seen this a little bit, not a lot. Tempest hands it off to Banks straight up the middle. He's hitting the backfield, but spins forward down near the 5-yard line. We'll say it's the 6-yard line, a gain of 2 on the play. A Union helmet came rolling off in the pile somewhere. That's Demarion Thomas, the big left guard, 6'4", 344.
Yeah,
he'll have to come out of the game. But the guy that they're bringing in is Ishmael Suleiman, and he's 6'6", 304.
I know.
Not many high schools can take out a 300-pounder and put in another one.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the Trips tight end look. Bunch right. Banks the tailback in the backfield behind Tempest under center. One receiver split out to the left side. Here's a snap. They fake the handoff. Wanting to throw. Tempest dumps it off to the right side. It's nearly intercepted. Incomplete. That may have been a touchdown the other way, but at the very least would have kept points off of the board for Union. In any case, it forces 3rd down and goal from just outside the 5-yard line.
You know, I could tell before the play there's confusion there because the inside tight end was telling the outside tight end what to do. You can tell he's sitting there. You know.
Well, Tempest looked over the middle like he was expecting somebody to be standing there in the end zone, and there wasn't anybody there. It nearly resulted in disaster for Union.
Right.
Trips left on 3rd down and goal from the 6. They had too many men on the field. Now they got to run one back off. Rovon Banks comes to the near sideline. Empty set for Tempest in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Tempest looking over the middle, now looking left, zips it towards the back of the end zone. It's too high, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and goal.
That was good coverage. He opened late. You know, the receiver opened late, and he had to overthrow it, so that was a good coverage.
Field goal unit coming on for Union. Boy, last October, November, whenever that was, Spav, we were sitting right on top of this, what would have been this field goal attempt in the UMAC offices, calling the playoff game from down there.
I tell you what, if we can just give up 3 points here, that's remarkable.
After the
what
penalties,
we did, after shooting ourselves in the foot.
Gave him 40 yards on the drive. Cowan is ready. Snap back, ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. 24-14. Union goes up 10, but the Tigers keep the touchdown off the board. 4:43 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and the Broken Arrow offense about to get the ball back as the light show starts to go off here at Tuttle Stadium. They got these fancy new lights that will do dances and whatnot when you hit the right button.
But
it's a little trippy, to be honest.
Losing a player and getting 40 yards of penalties and just giving up a field goal, that's good.
This Tiger defense has been at its best tonight in short yardage situations. You don't hear that very often.
I think so.
It's been those 2nd and short, 3rd and short. In that case, you got the short field with the with the ball on the 6-yard line.
I'll tell you, last year we wouldn't be able to do what we do now. You know, Brett Mon is doing a great job defensively. I'm really impressed with what he's doing because it's just sound. What he does, it's very sound. It's good football, and the kids are playing hard in it.
Union scored 21 points to start the game. Since then, Broken Arrow outscoring Union 14-3. Union able to get a little momentum back there, but we'll see how Broken Arrow responds now.
I tell you what, though, you got to be impressed with our kids because they're fighting hard. I mean, this is a well-talented Union team. This is the team that's picked to win the state.
And they got the size and speed to do it.
Size, and we're not even near in their area code as far as size-wise. But our kids are fighting and playing hard.
Well, when you're calling Tiger football games on ArrowVision, one of the most fun things to say is Marion Horn and R.J. Spears-Jennings are back to return the kick. You've always got a chance for fireworks when that's the case. TJ Cowan hits it with his right foot. That is a returnable kick for R.J. Spears-Jennings at the 5-yard line, moving towards his right, trying to find a seam. Bounces outside of the 20, and he's got room to work across the 30-yard line. Cowan to beat, and he trips him up at the 45-yard line of Union. Ushered out of bounds around the 41. Cowan was the last man standing, and he was able to do his job for the kick coverage team and be that safety back there in the back. But an excellent return from Spears-Jennings, and the Tigers will once again start in Union territory.
That kid's unbelievable.
Boy, he hit a different gear when he got around the corner, too.
Did you see him wiggle? He had a good wiggle. And the guy made a good tackle on him.
They mark him at the 43-yard line. Spears-Jennings just had a touchdown catch. Do they try a deep shot here? There's two safeties up top right now, but some confusion. Here's a handoff to Jones, trying the right side. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, trying to bounce it out the right side, and he does fall forward out to Well, they marked him shy of the 40-yard line. It looked like he had gotten a little farther from here, but it's a gain of about 2.5.
God, I thought it was 3 or 4 yard gain. I mean, but see, that's efficient. I mean, that's efficient on first down.
They did actually end up marking the ball out to the 40-yard line. So they moved it up a little further. A gain of 3 brings up 2nd down and 7. 4-5, but I think they're changing the clock. 4:17. They just put 12 seconds back on the clock. We should make a note of that for 12 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Here's the snap. The hard count got him to jump off sides. Union now helping the Tiger offense out with a penalty. Not as big a one, but 5 yards to the good for Broken Arrow offensively brings up 2nd down and 3. Make it 2nd down and 2. You take a shot here on 2nd and short, Spav?
You know, I would do something different. I don't know. It looks like they're prepared for something deep, but you've got to do something. They're playing a quarters look right now.
This is dangerous. You've got Spears, Jennings, Horn, and Ramsey all on the field together at the same time right now, all in wide receiver formations. A sugar huddle here for the Tiger offense. They sprint to the line, quickly to the line. Stever takes a snap, hands it off right. It's a running back pass, and it is incomplete. Spears Jennings held up a little bit. Ramsey fired the pass, and it was on target. But Spears Jennings got a little bit out of rhythm with his step and couldn't quite bring it in. The defender was able to catch him late as well. It brings up 3rd and short. That was something different.
I know. Well, we muddled the huddle again.
Yep.
And you get there and you just go boom. You go to the line of scrimmage real fast, and you don't know what, as defense, you don't know what it's going to be.
3rd down and 2 from the Union 35-yard line. Tigers need the Union 33. Tight ends motion to the right side. So quad right now. Here's the snap. Handoff to Jones. He's hit in the backfield. He lunges forward, lost the football. No, they marked him down. They marked him down at the 35-yard line. The Union defender is going to haul it back the other way. It won't matter. That was Braylon Irvin Fisher who picked up the football and took off with it, but he was marked down right around the 35-yard line. It brings up 4th down and 2, and this is pretty clearly going for it territory in my view.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They mark him.
I tell you what, he's been really. Coach Blankship's done a good job here on these.
Will we see more trickeration here? Ryan Fox is on the field. We haven't seen him much tonight. 2 receivers to either side. Marion Horn split out wide to the right. Here's the snap. Stever going to throw it. In trouble. Launches it to the right side. A diving attempt at the catch is made at the 32-yard line. It's enough for a 1st down. It wasn't by much, but it was enough. The Tigers move the chains to keep possession. 1st and 10 from the Union 29, trailing 24-14 with 3:05 to play in the 3rd.
With a lot of pressure on Stever, too. He did a great job staying in the pocket, making a good throw.
Yeah, he had to get rid of that before he wanted to, clearly. 1st and 10. Handoff to Jones, straight up the middle. Sidesteps a defender, sprinting forward across the 30, and he falls forward to the 27-yard line. A gain of about 5 on the play will bring up 2nd down and 5.
Now, here's where we've got to be. Like I'm saying, every 1st down, we do a great job.
2 receivers and a tight end left.
2nd down, we've got to do a better job. There we go.
Nice gap up the middle. Another 5-yard run for Jones. He's upended, but it's enough for the 1st down at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers from the Union 21 now.
Tempoing a little bit here.
Jones in the game still at running back. Fox moves to the slot on the right side. Horn split out right. Spears Jennings split out left. With the ball near the right hash, Tigers moving right to left. Will Hyde is the tight end right. Stever, the former tight end, takes the snap. Zips it out to the right side. It's caught by the tight end. Will Hyde down to the 16-yard line. Nice. He is stacked up and pushed backwards. They mark him down at the 15. It's a gain of 6, bringing up 2nd down and 4. Nice little tight end pop pass there out to the right side.
Absolutely. They had 3 receivers there with the back there, which gives it quads, and then faking it across and making that quick throw. And bringing the back across here brings those linebackers across too.
2nd down and 4. The nose of the football just outside the 15-yard line of Union. Tight end left for Broken Arrow here on 2nd down. Hand off to the right side. Jones on the stretch play. Steps inside of the defender. He's inside the 10, and he's wrestled down around the 5-yard line. That'll bring up 1st and goal from Broken Arrow. They actually mark him down at the 7. Still 1st and goal, though, for BA.
Very good. Very good boundary run. Running in the boundary. He found that seam and did a great job with it.
He's so quick. He can chop those feet in a hurry and change directions. First down and goal for Broken Arrow from the 7. And this offense looks entirely different than it did for the first 16 minutes of this football game. Motion from right to left from Spears-Jennings. They fake the handoff to him, hand it off to Jones, right side. Trying to bounce it outside, inside the 5-yard line, and he's shoved out at the 3. Another solid gain on first down brings up second down and goal for Broken Arrow.
You know, they muddled the huddle again, and that just, they don't know how to line up because you're there so fast, defense can't line up right.
With a touchdown and an extra point, Broken Arrow can make this a 3-point football game. Ball on the right hash. On the 3, going in, attacking the end zone to our left. Sterling Ramsey split out left, as is Spears-Jennings. Tight end right. Stieber takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking right, lobs it towards the back of the end zone, and it is caught in the back corner. Touchdown, Broken Arrow. Joshua Wilhite with the catch and the foot tap, and the Tigers are within just a few points.
Well, utilizing the tight end, they're putting all their best guys on a wide receiver. Let's get those tight ends in action.
Here's what maybe most impresses me about that play, Spav. You've got a converted tight end from last year playing quarterback,
right,
and he put that ball where only his receiver could get to it in the back corner of the end zone. That was an excellent throw.
Absolutely.
Snap back, ball down, kick on the way. It is a 3-point game at 71st and Mingo. 24-21, Union still leads, but Broken Arrow is outscoring Union 21-3 in the last couple of quarters.
God, this has been an impressive drive. I tell you, offensively, we're really coming around. And, you know, defensively, just giving up that field goal only.
Yeah, that's a big
really
stop.
Big stop. Big stop.
51 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Union went up 21-0, and there was not a whole lot of energy on that away sideline. But I'll tell you what, the grit that this team has shown has been very impressive to fight its way back into this game. The offense looks like a different animal, and what this is what we talked about at halftime. When Broken Arrow had its most success last week was when they were having methodical drives, staying ahead of the chains, 4, 5, 6 yards a pop. That's what we've seen in the last couple of quarters from this, well, really the last drive of the first half and in this third quarter.
Yeah, just first downs. Just work on getting the first downs and go. They've been efficient on first down. Now, second down hasn't been great for us, but then this drive
been a lot better in the
was.
third.
Absolutely, yeah, that's true. That is true.
The ball is teed up at the 40-yard line for Hunter Martins, the sophomore kicker. Right on the X in the middle of the field. He kicks it away. It's a high end-over-end kick, and it'll carry 3 yards deep into the end zone for a second consecutive touchback. Excellent the last couple of times out for Martins. That'll bring the ball out to the 20 for Union.
We got to keep our heads on, and just really don't get out of our minds here. We just got to really play with what we can do.
Grayson Tempest leads the Union offense out of the field. 2 receivers right, 2 left. They're all pretty close into the formation. Rovon Banks to his right in the shotgun set. 1st and 10 Union, ball on the right hash from its own 20. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Banks, straight up the middle, cutting it back to the right now. He's nearly tripped up, hit and knocked sideways. Marion Horn came in for the final hit. Also in there, working on the tackle, was Makai Hanley. Horn is down, possibly with another cramp. I'll tell you what, Spav, Makai Hanley has been around the football a ton defensively tonight. He's had a great game.
Oh, I know. He's just, I tell you what, I'm getting more and more impressed with what we're doing on defense. I mean, offense is obviously doing a great job. They seem to get tougher and tougher as they go in. I mean, people don't understand there's a huge size difference.
Yeah.
I mean, their offensive line is 6'7", 6'6", 6'4", you know.
Here's the front 4 defensively for Broken Arrow. Briley Ferguson, 5'11", 205. Julius McVeigh, 6'2", 236. Mitchell Banning, 5'9", 218. Trey Federhoff, 5'8", 160. I mean, that's just not comparable size-wise. Now you can counter that by being quicker and some things like that, stronger. You get your leverage, all that. There's techniques to work around that, but you have to be good technically in order to overcome that kind of a size advantage for the offensive line. And,
No doubt.
Broken Arrow has been, especially over the last few drives here.
And we're not blitzing a lot either. What they do offensively does not really allow you to blitz a lot.
Yeah, all that motion.
Yes, and then, of course, the heavy sets and things of this nature, it's hard to blitz it. So you basically have to line up and play football, and that's what we're doing.
2nd and 6 for Union from its own 24-yard line. Timeout on the field as Marion Horn is still being tended to near the near sideline. He's being helped up and is going to be able to walk off under his own power, although he'll have to go around the Union huddle in the process. Horn is being helped off a little bit, but it looks like he's mostly walking off under his own power. Marion Horn, about as versatile of a football player as the Tigers have on the roster.
Well, he doesn't come off the field if you think about it. He plays a lot of offense. And obviously he starts on defense, but he plays on all your special teams.
He's a guy who carried the load a lot of the year at tailback last year.
Absolutely.
Trips right on the short side of the field. What are we looking at here for Union?
We got the player up on the field.
Out left. Here's a snap. Tempest hands it off to Banks. Stretch play left side. He breaks through the hole, and then he's knocked down at the 34-yard line. It's enough for a first down, but Spav, if he gets through one more, he's gone. So it was a touchdown-saving tackle there at the end.
Well, when you have good tailbacks like that was an interesting play because you put the formation in the boundary. You got one receiver to the field, and you run the stretch zone there to the field. Very tough, very tough.
Same formation, but flip it. This time they're on the left side, so they got the trips on the left side on the short side of the field. Tempest takes a snap. Doesn't hand it off this time, launches it back up over the middle, and it's intercepted by the Tigers at the 40-yard line. Going up the far sideline into Union territory at the 30. Knocked down, no, spun sideways and inside the 25. Tiger football with a chance to take the lead as the third quarter clock expires.
Oh, that was awesome.
Jamion Franklin with the interception, and the Tigers smell blood here at Union Tuttle Stadium.
I think they were trying to outthink themselves, trying to get kind of a trickery type play, but we were playing coverage on the back end and made a great play on the ball.
We have 12 minutes of football to play. We came into the night thinking this was going to be a great football game. Union went on a big run to start it. It looked like they might try to put the foot on the throat of the Tigers, so to speak, but the Tigers have come roaring back and have a chance to take the lead when we return. We'll take the break, flip the field around. Wow. This is Broken Arrow Tiger football on ArrowVision.
Finding your happy place is something special and different for everyone. You probably already know where to find yours, and TTCU Federal Credit Union can help you get there. Talk with our team. We'll give you the tools to build the financial future you want. So wherever your happy place finds you, TTCU will meet you there. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Just a reminder, there will come a time when they can no longer share a bedroom. That's why we have a complete array of home loans, so that dream of more space can come true. Right on time. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
Union leading Broken Arrow 24-21 as we head into the fourth quarter, but the Tigers back within 3 and now with the ball in Union territory after an interception. I'm Adam Hildebrand alongside Steve Spavital. Madison Dildine is on the sidelines for us tonight, but Spav, we talked earlier, late in the first quarter, maybe early in the second, as Union was kind of dominating early, and we said this is a chance to see how this Tiger football team will respond.
Exactly.
Question answer.
Yes, exactly. You nailed it right there.
First and 10, Broken Arrow from the Union 23-yard line. Ball on the right hash, now moving left to right. Here's the snap. Stieber looking left. Wants to throw it deep up the left sideline towards the end zone. It is juggled and incomplete. Well covered by the Union secondary as they just break up the pass attempt to R.J. Spears-Jennings.
He almost got that thing. It was juggling. Good thing they tipped it there.
That was a good football play all around. It was a good throw, a good route, good late recovery by the Union defense, and they got a hand in there just in time to knock the ball away from a guy with really good hands.
And we needed to do something like that, attack them vertical. Now what we got to do now is get a first down. Just get a first down.
Sterling split left. Sterling Ramsey split left, that is. One receiver split right as well. Two tight ends in the game. Ace set in the pistol. Here's a snap, handoff to Jones. Straight up the middle, not a lot of room to work. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards. Suplexed back at the 29-yard line. They'll mark him at the 24 with his forward progress. It brings up 3rd down and 11. Now you're in a little bit of a pickle.
Right. 3rd and long now.
Spears-Jennings back in the game.
We got to have something positive right here. Now, getting something positive will lead us either we're going to kick a field goal or we're going to go for it.
Ramsey split right, trips left. That's Spears-Jennings out wide. In the slot is Fox, the tight end. Now they come into a bunch on the left side as Wilhite.
We're confused.
Plenty of time on the play clock, which actually isn't running. It's not on. Jones motions out of the backfield. Here's the snap. A couple of flags fly, and there's a false start against Broken Arrow.
See, we were confused.
Yeah.
We really needed a timeout then.
3rd down and 16 now. And now you're looking at, if you had to kick from here, you're looking at a 46-yard field goal.
Yeah, you have to go for it.
Likely 4-down territory here for the Tigers. Two receivers right, two left, empty set, tight end right for Griffin Stieber. Tried the hard count, didn't work. Stieber now looking to his left over to the visitor sideline, and head coach Josh Blankenship, who's also calling the plays. 3rd down and long. Stieber, and against an all-out blitz, dumps to the left side and is intercepted by Union. What a play by the defensive lineman who picked off the screen pass, and Union gets the ball back.
But you know, what a perfect call, too. The screen, what a perfect call. And they had that D lineman just sneak out and get it. Oh, gosh.
Had a hard time getting a number on who that was, but it was an excellent play.
God, and we were going to the house on that. It was a great play call.
I suspect it might have been Matthias Robertson. Jackson Jennings also a possibility. Whatever it was, Union ends up with the football on its own 35. Now, Spav, you're still down only 3 here. The defense has another chance to step up to the plate.
Absolutely.
Pistol set. Two tight ends in the game. Now into the shotgun as Banks moves to the right of Tempest. They hand it off to Banks, looking to try the left side. He's hit across the 40-yard line, falls forward out to the 43. Give him 8 on the play. Yet again, coming up to help make that stop was Mekhi Hanley.
Well, they get quads and they run that draw again, and that's tough to defend because you have to compensate for the quads look out there.
Back-to-back turnovers for these two teams. It's still a 3-point game. A lot of football to be played. 10 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Motion right to left. Ace set under center is Tempest. Hands the ball straight up the middle. And dipping and diving his way through the line of scrimmage was Rovon Banks. He's across the 45 out to the 48. 1st down for Union near midfield.
Yeah, just run a little simple split zone. Now they're going to probably do something off of that same look, something different.
1st and 10 from the Union 48. Trying to get into Tiger territory. Split out by himself to the right side is Gino Boyd. One receiver split left as well. Tight end right now, motion right to left, so a tight end on either side. Motion on the offensive line.
Yes.
And that should move Union back 5 yards. Sure enough, that is the signal.
Well, he brought those linebackers up when the tight end shifted over to the other side. We shifted, those linebackers mugged up in there, and just got that offensive lineman moving.
believe that was Solomon Ola, the starting right guard, who jumped up briefly out of his stance. Now 1st and 15. Here's a big chance for Broken Arrow to capitalize. Bunch left, but the wide receiver on the outside is split out just a couple of steps. Here's a snap on 1st and 15. They fake the handoff. Tempest rolling right. Look out for the wheel route back on the near side. Rovon Banks couldn't bring it in. It hit him in the hands, but he couldn't catch it.
That's that wheel route we were talking about.
We've mentioned it on several occasions. They haven't tried to hit it yet. They finally did. There is a flag down back where the pass was thrown, all the way back at the 34-yard line. That's a dangerous spot here.
So it's either a late hit or
personal foul on Broken Arrow.
Yeah, late hit on quarterback.
Boy, another untimely penalty.
I know, we just shoot ourselves in the foot.
It was indeed a late hit on the quarterback. That's now 30, 40, 55 yards on only 4 penalties in the second half.
I know, just huge penalties.
And in kind of big moments. Still just a 3-point game.
And they weren't effort penalties.
Right. 2 receivers left, 2 tight ends right, ball on the left hash. Now motion towards the backfield. They give it to him on the jet sweep, trying the right side, giving chase as the Broken Arrow Tiger defense. He's knocked out of bounds after maybe 3 yards down to the 39-yard line.
Good job stretching that thing to the boundary.
And that was Gage Arthur on the jet sweep. Jacob Jennings, I think, forced him out. Dietrich Moore was in pursuit as well.
Yeah, it's just a great job stretching to the boundary. That's how you play those things. When you have great athletes, make them run out of bounds.
2nd down and 7 from the Tiger 39. 8:59 to go. 24-21, Union leading and with the football. 2 receivers split left. A little confusion for the Tiger defense. 2 tight ends right. They pull Rovon Banks up into the running back position to the left of the quarterback. He takes the handoff, hit immediately, and he's spun down for no gain as he tried the counter over the left side. Had no room to work. Leading the charge that time for the Tigers was Trey Federhoff.
Yeah, running the split zone there. See, typically they like to bring that tight end over and then they bring him into the flat from boot, but then they just ran him and kicked out. And they ran a split zone.
3rd and 7. Trips left in a stack out near the numbers on the left side. Here's the snap. It's a wildcat formation. Rovon Banks with it, trying the left side. He is hit at the 1st down marker, pushes his way forward to the 30-yard line, and is still moving the pile forward. Now inside the 25, and now all the way down to the 20, but here comes a flag in at the 23-yard line. As it stands, it's enough for 1st down yardage. But that flag was during the play. That could affect the outcome of the play here. The flag is down at the 23. A 10-yard penalty would push it back inside the 1st down marker.
Right.
Here's the call.
Aiding the runner.
So that is only a 5-yard penalty. Aiding the runner is only a 5-yard penalty. That will push it back around the 28-yard line, which is enough for a 1st down. There is a Tiger down on the field as well. They do indeed mark the ball at the 28-yard line. 8:18 to play. 24-21, Union on top. The Tigers got a big stop in the red zone to force a field goal at least instead of a touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Still got a chance to get a stop in total, but if you can at least hold Union to a field goal here, then you're still within a touchdown.
Who was it?
Jacob Jennings down right in the middle of the field. And there was a whole lot going on with that big pile. It would have been pretty easy to get stepped on or kind of tweak something.
That's where you need to blow the whistle quicker because, I mean, it could result in injuries.
Jennings is up and walking off under his own power. And kind of shooing the training staff away from him in the process. He's got to sit out for a play. Union inside the Broken Arrow 30. Charcoal gray jerseys and pants, red numbers, shiny red and silver helmets for Union tonight. Tigers in white jerseys, gold pants, black helmets. Quads right, quick pass to the right side. It's a screen, but it's sniffed out immediately, and it's a 4 or 5 yard loss back to the 33-yard line. Excellent defense from the Tigers secondary on that far side.
Oh, that's great.
Now,
that thing is so tricky, though. You got to be careful because they get those double moves.
I was going to say, now you got to be careful because everybody in the Union coaches box saw how that played out. They might throw some trickeration at you on that next time. Second down, and we'll call it 14 at the 32-yard line. Trips left this time, one receiver right with the ball on the right hash. So the trips are on the field side. Banks to the right of Tempest in the shotgun. 4 down linemen for the Tigers. Here's the snap. Tempest wants to throw. Drops it over the middle. It's caught. One broken tackle inside the 20-yard line. Spinning forward for first down yardage to the 17-yard line that time was Lane Wood, the tight end.
Yeah, that's a tough play because you got a linebacker on him. And
the linebacker was there initially when the catch was made, but couldn't quite come up with the tackle. And now Union is in the Broken Arrow red zone with 7:23 to play. Union able to run some clock off on this drive as well. 1st and 10 from the Broken Arrow 17. Trips left in that bunch tight end set. One receiver split right. Tempest hands it off straight up the middle to Rovon Banks. He's wrapped up, but he's able to carry a few defenders forward down to the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 4. Brings up 2nd down and 6.
it's like they're wanting to set a message right now because they're just lining up in that bunch and running the power right down in.
Julius McVeigh on the stop that time. The pride of Broken Arrow is playing straight down the line of scrimmage right now as they fill the section from about the 2-yard line to the 16. 2nd down and 6. Twins left, tight ends right. Here's the snap, fake handoff. Tempest is going to boot right. He's got plenty of space. Points out a block. Now he's going to carry it himself across the 5-yard line. Shoved out of bounds at the 1-yard line. He was hit pretty hard, but he's sprinting back onto the field of play. Union might want to move quickly here. 1st and goal from the 1. Tempest came flying back onto the field. 5'11" junior quarterback. They're going Wildcat with Rovon Banks. Trips to the left side with Tempest, the last of the 3 receivers. Banks in the shotgun set, 2 tight ends left in the Wildcat. Here's the snap, running it himself on the left side. Untouched, he goes into the end zone, and Union goes back up by 2 scores with 6:16 to play.
That's a tough play. And you know, he just kind of. The tough thing about the Wildcat is when you get the ball and you got a blocker, is you delay and you let things develop and then you accelerate, you know.
Well, and he's, in a sense, he's been doing that for 2 years. When they started him at quarterback last year, they did a ton of that.
Exactly.
So he's familiar with that scheme and that strategy at this point.
No doubt.
The wind is behind TJ Cowan as he gets ready for the PAT. 30-21 the new score. Cowan trying to make it a 10-point game. Snap back, ball down, kick on the way. Nearly blocked, but it got through. And it is 31-21 with 6:16 to play. Tigers need a pretty quick response here.
We do. We do. Again, just play our ball, just like we keep talking about.
Grayson Tempest has now accounted for 149 yards of offense, 13-23 for 123 yards through the air for Union. He's also carried it 5 times for 26 yards. Sterling Griffin has been fairly efficient, 11 for 19, only 83 yards, but he's thrown 3 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Nathaniel Jones, 13 carries for 80 yards for 6.2 yards per carry. But now Broken Arrow down 10. We got a whistle and a stoppage. What's going on down here to our left?
Something's happening in the corner over here.
All of the fans down here and to our left are
Even
standing up trying to look, but there's a security person up here kind of on the ramp, and he doesn't seem particularly perturbed by anything.
No, but everybody's looking down there, and the officials are. There's a trainer coming over here. Our trainers.
They're looking at somebody down and to our left. Both teams are going to the sideline. Interesting. Madison Dildine down on the sideline has a different angle than us. She's looking a long way across the field. Madison, can you add anything to this mystery?
There's a group of a few people, but that's about all that I can see from where I'm at.
So we're all kind of blocked off from trying to figure out exactly what is happening in the near corner to our left. The teams are returning to the field, though. Whatever it is, I don't think it was an unruly disturbance or anything like that. I think somebody might have gone down or something on this near sideline.
That's what I'm thinking too.
For a minute, I was wondering if maybe there was a cat running around on the field. Oh yeah, they got somebody restrained down and to our left. Just behind the end zone. We're going to play football anyway. The kick is deep and lands 6 yards deep in the end zone. The touchback will give Broken Arrow the ball at the 20-yard line. Perhaps somebody tried to jump on the field and run around a little bit. And they might have got him tackled before it ever went down. That's some quick reaction time by the security folks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We might have missed a great tackle.
I know.
You gotta get that Jumbotron built so we can get the instant replay.
Exactly.
6:16 to go. Broken Arrow needs a score. Down by 10. Dump pass over the middle. It's way high, and it's intercepted at the 40-yard line. Back to the near side. Marion Horn drags him down at the 37-yard line. That was just an errant throw that went right to the defense, and Union gets the ball back with 6:05 to play.
That wasn't even close.
I don't think it was the wrong read, but it was certainly a misfire on the throw.
He was open. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. He just overthrew it.
In fact, part of the reason it was intercepted is because Marion Horn was so open.
Yeah.
I mean, that defender was 6 yards behind him. If that's on target, it's a catch for probably 15 yards, and if he breaks a tackle, a lot more. Well, now the Tiger defense is really up against it. Down by 10 with 6:06 to play. Quad right for Union. Boy, you'd really think they'd be running the football in this situation. But they got 4 receivers right, 1 left, and an empty set for Grayson Tempest. Takes the snap, looking right. Now trying to scramble to his left, and he's got room across the 30-yard line. Now sprints out of bounds. He saw a defender coming and just made a hard left. Did not really want to mess with Dietrich Moore. Can't blame him. I wouldn't either. But with 5:58 to go, he does pick up 8 yards and brings up 2nd down and 2. The bright side is the clock stops.
Right. It was interesting. I was wondering what they were going to do. You had the quads out there, and you had a receiver over here. They had a lot of opportunities to do something there.
And you wonder if that was a design quarterback draw there. Here's jet motion. It's a little bit broken up. Now Tempest is trying to scramble left side. He's got room again across the 25-yard line, and he runs out of bounds untouched around the 24. That was a broken play. The jet motion from Arthur, he actually ran into Rovon Banks. I'm not sure if they were trying to set anything up over there, but it looked like a broken play from the start.
Yeah, the coach is a little upset with Tempest. I guess they had something and he didn't see it.
Brings up 1st down and 10, though, for Union. So all told, he accomplished the goal for Union, moved the chains. However, those 2 plays have only taken 16 seconds off the clock.
I know.
That's the good news for the Tigers. Can you force a turnover somehow? 1st and 10 Union from the BA 24, moving right to left. Here's a snap. They hand it off to Banks right side. Big hole, cuts it back to the right side, across the 20, inside the 10-yard line, and upended. Tripped up and brought down at the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Union.
Sponsored by OKAutodirect.com.
Dietrich Moore still working his way back to the Broken Arrow side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he looked like he was being held.
Trying to find a way to come up with a big stop here. 1st and goal from the 9. One receiver right, one left, 2 tight ends right. Now they motion the tight end right to left across the formation. A whistle, and Marion Horn jumped off sides on the far side. That'll be half the distance to the goal and move it to the 4.5.
How does a corner jump offside?
I don't know if the motion got him, if he just caught the tight end motion out of the corner of his eye or what.
Formation to boundary here.
Trips left. That's the Wildcat again. Rovon Banks with the counter left side, and for the 3rd time tonight, he goes in without being touched. 5 minutes to go, and Union has reopened its lead back to 16 points, 37-21. The Tigers climbed all the way back, got within 3, and then a couple of untimely mistakes and penalties, and suddenly Union has done a nice job cleaning that momentum and taking advantage of the opportunity. They've made this a 3-possession ball game again. Well, right now it's 2.
But
we'll see if they can keep it.
Think about it, it's all turned around because of what we've done. How we shot ourselves in the foot, throwing a pick there and doing things.
Snap back, ball down, kick up, and it's good. A 3-possession game, 38-21. Union leads with 4:59 to go. And it leaves you with this very mixed bag feeling now of,
I know.
Boy, that was an impressive comeback. You like the grit and the grind, but then, untimely errors.
And that's where, we always talk about you got to play clean. You have to play clean. The penalties and things are just killing us.
Tonight, Broken Arrow 9 penalties for 104 yards. Union hasn't been monumentally better, 10 for 75. Yeah. They've been less yardage penalties. But that's 19 flags. That's a pretty penalty-played game.
Right. And they're big penalties.
Yeah, especially on the Broken Arrow side.
Yeah.
Union's had a couple big ones, but they haven't been quite as poorly timed.
I mean, it's a little chippy out there, but that's football. Now, how are we going to respond now? I mean, just like you were saying earlier, we need to respond again.
Cowan kicks it away. Another good kick. This one carries about 4 yards deep. Spears Jennings was trying to maybe leap up and catch it in time to be able to return it, but not so much. 38-21 Union leads with 4:59 to go, and you're talking about responding. Certainly crazier things have happened than 17 points in 5 minutes, but at the very least, this is a little bit of a mental test.
Yeah,
because the odds are stacked against you. So are you willing to continue to grind and continue to work, continue to get reps that make you better?
Yeah, are you going to fight? Are you going to be efficient right here on this 1st down? Are you going to?
Twins to either side on 1st and 10. Stieber takes it up the middle on the quarterback draw, makes one man miss, powering his way forward for a gain of 9 yards out to the 29-yard line. Solid run there for Griffin Stieber.
Very nice.
Brings up 2nd and 1 for Broken Arrow. Gabriel Ford on the stop for Union.
Fox right. No, Fox moves into the slot left side now. One receiver to either side, tight end left. Here's the snap. Quick throw to the left side, caught by Spears Jennings, looking for a block, makes one man miss, now runs through a defender and is ushered out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That should have been a loss of 1 or 2 yards, and Spears Jennings turned it into a 1st down. Horn, excuse me. 5 and 9 look kind of similar when they're, what are we, probably 75 yards from that jersey number? Thanks to Jeremy Bryan, our spotter, for keeping me in line. 2 receivers to either side. Spears Jennings split right. They do throw it to Spears Jennings this time. It's caught on the 41-yard line. He ducks under a defender, falls forward out to about the 42. A gain of 7 or so on the play, brings up 2nd and short.
Very good, very good. Keep fighting here, guys. Let's go.
Well, and these are big reps for Griffin Stieber. You got to remember, he's only thrown 30 passes as a varsity quarterback.
That's true. That
so
is true.
If you can let him throw the ball around a little bit, that's only going to benefit you down the road. Here's the snap on an empty set. Stieber launches it to the left side. It is caught, juggled, but caught. And I believe that's Sterling Ramsey that time, who stretched his arms out and got the first down at the 45-yard line.
Nice.
Check that. That was not Sterling Ramsey. It was Sterling Ramsey. Okay.
Well, the thing
Atchison
is,
was in there maybe throwing a block as well. He got up out of the pile.
we weren't disguising anything these last few downs, you know.
They're pretty much lining up and letting Stieber huck it right now. 2 receivers to either side. Stieber going to throw again. Quick pass on the hitch left side. Caught by Ramsey again. He's hit high and knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 7 again, down to the Union 48-yard line. 3:30 to go, and Broken Arrow just getting these quick passes out right now. Good routes, crisp, clean routes. Union probably inclined to just keep things in front of them right now. 2nd down and 3. They hand it off at the middle this time.
Good.
Pushing his way forward was Michael Matthews. Carried the ball 10 times for 44 yards last week, and he's got about 7 more, down to around the 42.
Another first down. Keep her going.
It's 3 first downs on the drive now for Broken Arrow. Fox sprinting out to the slot on the near side. Now a quick pass to the left side. It's caught for a gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards. Forward progress down to the Union 37.
Nice.
I think that was Horn, or maybe it was Ramsey on that far side. That was Ramsey. Now Ramsey out, Horn in. Horn split left. Spears Jennings split right. Fox in the slot right. Tight end right. And Matthews, the running back, left of Stieber in the backfield. 2nd down and 5, 2:43 to play. Tigers trailing 38-21. Stieber takes the snap, looking left, dumps it off. Matthews able to take it forward for a couple of yards, down to about the 35. And it brings up 3rd down and 3.
He couldn't get the ball out of his hand that time.
Yeah, he kind of double clutched on it a little bit.
Yeah, timeout.
Timeout, Broken Arrow, 2:23 remaining. It's 3rd down and 3. Stieber's been efficient on this drive. He's now up to 17 of 26 for the game for 113 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, he's
having a hard time remembering the first interception. The second one was the overthrow.
Oh, the screen.
The screen that got picked off. That's why, because it wasn't quote unquote a bad pay. He didn't really make a mistake. It was just a ridiculous play by the defender.
It was, because we were going to take that to the house. That was a great call at the time too.
That's one of those, you do not see just a ton of what I would call a truly individual play in football, because there's so many things like linemen fitting in to allow linebackers to make plays, that sort of thing. That was a play that was a truly individual play that kid made intercepted.
Exactly.
Broken Arrow, you think, boy, 227 yards of offense, that's not very much. You got to remember, they only had about 40 through the first quarter, almost 2 quarters of football.
Well,
I think they had 2 in the first quarter.
Right.
So the offense has certainly improved over the course of this game. And sure, if this score holds and you lose, that's going to sting. But we have unquestionably seen this offense get better over the course of this football game.
Is it cooled off a little bit down there, Madison?
A little bit, but it is still so humid.
Probably still in the mid-80s.
I think that's why everybody's cramping.
At some point, this heat is going to break as we get into the middle part of September here. Trips right on 3rd and short. Quick pass to the near side. It's caught. Fox trying to spin forward, but he lost his footing. He got maybe 2. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
Well, this is where Stieber's going to get better, because you obviously want to throw the ball to a skill player in space, but you want him to be able to turn and be able to wiggle in space, so his throws are a little off target.
That one, essentially that throw was directly over the top of his head. That's incredibly difficult for a receiver to make that catch and keep his footing at the same time.
Right.
Twins right, that's Horn and Spears Jennings. Quick huddle to the field, and now a handoff straight at the middle. Matthews pushing forward across the 30. That's first down yardage. And mark him right just inside the 30-yard line. First down for the Tigers with 1:40 to play. Trailing 38-21. Broken Arrow, we knew coming into this season, was not going to certainly be a complete football team from the get-go. They've shown some very good signs here tonight. Stieber takes a snap. Look out, immediately under pressure, scrambles left, somehow gets out of it, launches it towards the end zone. It's a jump ball, and it's knocked away.
What a good ball, too, he threw.
On the run to his left. He threw that about 35 yards.
No, he's got a strong arm.
Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 30. He had a man in his face immediately. There was looks like a cut block missed on the left side there. 2nd and 10, 1:20 to go. Here comes a blitz. Stieber gets rid of it quickly to the left side. It was a little bit behind the intended target. Off his hands, incomplete. That was Sterling Ramsey, who was on the slant route on the left side. Had to try to jump and turn his body backwards to the football and couldn't quite get back to it.
But he was wide open. I mean, I'll tell you, we're doing some good jobs offensively. It's just, we just got to quit shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well, and the throws, I think, for Griffin Stieber will come. The consistency on the accuracy. The reads is what you're really concerned about, and he's been pretty good in that. This time he pulls it down, is going to run with it over the left side. First down yardage inside the 20, tried to hurdle a man. He got tripped up, but he's down at the 12-yard line. Another good run that time for Griffin Stieber. Stieber's now run it for more than 20 yards in the game, and he's thrown it for 115.
He's a competitor now. Like you said, the reads are there. Yeah, he's going to get those throws down.
The decision-making is a really good place to start, and
so.
it seems to be solid for Griffin Stieber. Motion from left to right on 1st and 10 from the 12. A dump pass to the right side for Marion Horn, who's open, and he'll scamper into the end zone untouched. Touchdown, Broken Arrow. Stieber got hit pretty hard in order to deliver the football, but he put it on the money to Marion Horn. And that time, awesome. Spav, we were just talking about, he kind of threw it right over the head of Jones a little while back and tripped him up, or Fox rather. That time he hit Horn in a really good spot and got him in step.
Exactly.
Good adjustment.
Exactly, but under pressure too. He took a serious hit now.
Snap back, ball down, kick on the way. It is good. That makes it 38-28, and Spav, that took enough time off the clock that the comeback is pretty improbable at this point. But we talked about at the beginning of that drive, even with the clock against you, whether you win this game or not, will you respond and continue to fight? And again, the Tigers answered the call.
Because this is the first 3 ball games. They don't count for what you do in the playoffs or your standings. They don't count. They're so valuable on how you're going to react as a team when you get into your district play.
Certainly,
so valuable.
Certainly, there will be a lot of. If you were to make a pros and cons list of this game, there's certainly going to be things on both sides. I mean, there's plenty of stuff for Broken Arrow to improve on from this game. Certainly, the penalties have been a real struggle. The start wasn't great. The running the football has been kind of spotty at times in this game, but the intangible things, like are you going to continue to play hard? Are you going to continue to bounce back from mistakes and have a short-term memory? Those are things that have been in the pros column in this contest.
And we're seeing that, and I like it. I like our chances when we get into the playoffs. We got another tough game, and then when we get in that, we're in district, and we'll be ready. By then, we'll be ready.
And you've proven to yourself that you can run with Union if you see them in the playoffs.
Correct.
The onside kick team is on the field. 44 seconds left on the clock. Tigers trail by 10. That'll be Stieber to do the kicking. Here is the kick.
Nice.
Got a decent bounce, but it fell right into the hands of a Union player. That was Zamar Gardner who snagged it. No, check that. It was Braylon Irvin Fisher. Well, it was one of the two. They both wear number 23.
I know.
Anyhow,
take your pick.
It'll be Union football, and the victory formation will likely be on the field for Union.
Yeah, like we were talking about, we've seen a lot of good things here tonight with us. Even though we lost the game, I see a lot of good potential in what I see. The fighting back, the kids are going to be able to compete and do a great job.
Victory formation on the field for Union. Grayson Tempest takes a snap, takes a knee. And I suspect that will be the final snap of the game. They haven't wound the clock yet, and the officials are going to take their time marking it before winding that play clock. So that will indeed be the final play of the football game. So the final score will be 38-28. Union wins it over Broken Arrow. Gaining the Tigers 382 to 262 in the contest. Broken Arrow with more pass yards, 136 to 123, but Union with 259 yards rushing in the game. Led by Rovon Banks, who had 31 carries for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had a very, very good ball game.
He's going to do that every game. He has that ability. So
well, you think of how many ways, in terms of a guy who got 31 rushing attempts, not even receptions, rushing attempts, they got him to touch the ball on the ground in a lot of different ways tonight. They went with different formations. They went with the Wildcat and ran him out of that. I mean,
exactly.
They found, in terms of creativity just to run the football, Union showed a ton of that tonight, and it ends up in a huge night for Rovon
Well,
Banks.
he may have had 197 yards, but you know what I've seen on film previously, what he did last week, he takes it to the house. Now, he didn't take him to the house on us like that.
Yeah, he
those
broke,
long runs.
He broke one 35-yard run, but it didn't get to the end zone.
Right.
They tracked him down in the process.
But the whole goal is you got to try to, teams that play Union just have to try to figure out how to slow him down. And that's tough because of the formations that they run. It makes it very difficult because you're going to have to compensate for this, but then they do that, you know, and they're able to run weak side zone, which is really, it's really effective for them.
Broken Arrow, 126 rush yards. Nathaniel Jones, 13 carries for 80 yards. He averaged more than 6 yards a carry. That's a very solid day for Nathaniel Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Griffin Steber, 19 for 30 through the air for 127 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's thrown 8 touchdown passes in his first 2 games. And through 2 games, he has a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. You'll take that all season long without question.
Correct.
Steber also ran it 8 times for 30 yards. Michael Matthews 4 for 12. Marion Horn 2 for 4. Spears Jennings caught 46 yards worth of passes on 5 catches and a touchdown. Joshua Wilhite, the tight end, a big night. 5 catches, 41 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. Sterling Ramsey, 4 catches, 28 yards. Marion Horn, 3 for 21. And Spav, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys caught passes tonight. Again, the decision-making for Steber. He's distributing the football. It's not firing on all cylinders just yet, but you're seeing the building blocks being put into place for him over the course of these first couple games as a quarterback.
Yeah, wouldn't you just love to play in this offense, though?
Yeah.
You know, if you're just a tight end, you know, there's a lot of teams that don't even throw the tight end. You're just a blocker, you know, and we utilize them on both, and we play a lot of kids in that. So we're going to find some answers here. I mean, this is a game to where we're going to go home, evaluate it, and we're going to break it down piece by piece and figure out personnel, figure out plays. You know, they could be as simple as, you know, plays. People don't understand plays can be very picky to run. You may only be able to run this play to the right side, not to your left, you know, because the timing's perfect. You got to figure out what you do well and start mastering and getting that thing developed. So when we start into the playoffs, I mean, to our district play, we're going to be ready to go.
Let's go down to the sideline in Madison-Dildine. Madison, there was quite the roller coaster of emotions over the course of that game for the Tigers. What did you get the sense was kind of the prevailing emotion as they left the field?
Just kind of really defeated and frustrated, I think, was the overall sense of emotion that was portrayed, at least on their faces.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think, you know, there was a lot of expectations going into this, and I think they were just you know, they're just, you know, like Madison said, they're just a little defeated. They just don't, you know, they feel like they could have done better.
And the question is, and this is part of the reason that athletics as a whole at the high school level is such a character-building activity, because now you get to decide, okay, I'm disappointed. That did not turn out the way that I wanted it to. How am I going to react to that?
Yes.
What is my next week going to look like? What is my next practice going to look like? And that's something that, as
That's
a
a good
team, the
point.
Tigers
That's
are
right.
going to have to decide to do, both on an individual basis and a team basis. And I think we saw the building blocks here, that if you do that as a team, say, no, we're going to use this to get better and push forward, then that can be a really good building block for the rest of the season. If not, then it could go the other way too. So there's
I
always
agree
those kind of
totally.
breaking points.
I agree totally. I mean, what you have to understand is Union is picked to win the state. They're the best team in the state. We just played with them. We just played really well with them, and we had our opportunities, but then we shot ourselves in the foot in many times that really gave them the lead a little more. But I'm telling you what, we're a good football team. Broken Arrow is a good football team, and they know it too. And we're going to do nothing but get better.
Final score 38-28. As Union wins it over Broken Arrow, the Tigers now 1-1 on the year. Union 2-0, and there's a lot more to come for this Broken Arrow Tiger football team. Next week is on the road again, right? At Owasso.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So you got another short trip, but another tough trip to a team that has been very, very good over the course of the last few years, and you get the coaching battle that everybody's been looking forward to.
Cool. That's what's going to be cool. Father, son.
The master and the student, the father and the son, going against each other next week as Bill and Josh will face off. So we will certainly be looking forward to that one. And, of course, we'll have content for you on ArrowVision throughout the week, and the game for you next week
And,
on ArrowVision
we'll be better.
as well.
We'll be better, too, than we played tonight, even though I felt like at times we played very well. But we'll be better next week, because we're going to learn from what we did wrong here, and we're going to get better. Just because it's going to be another tough game, and our kids know it.
Thanks to Terry Sprider for pushing the buttons behind us over the course of the evening, getting things set up. Jeremy Bryan, our spotter, Madison Dildine on the sidelines, Steve Spavital on the color and helping us all to understand this game we call football. And I'm Adam Hildebrandt, happy to bring you the action tonight. We will talk to you from Owasso next Friday. Again, your final score, Union 38, Broken Arrow 28. I'm Adam Hildebrandt saying good night and God bless from Tulsa.